Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Yes, Enoch. Reform is definitely self-destructing, unfortunately. This was predictable. This was going to happen. So I'm just going to put on screen what Rupert Lowe has actually said on Twitter about what's actually happening. So this is basically what caused it all. He said this: I asked reasonable and constructive questions of Nigel Farage and Reform's leadership, following months of pushing for progress behind closed doors. The day after, I find a knife in my back over false allegations, whip suspended. That tells you everything you need to know. So basically, if you, hey, how you doing? How are you doing? So if you don't know, behind closed doors, Rupert Lowe has been trying to do what Ben Habib was doing. He's trying to get the Reform Party to professionalise, to democratise, to form structure, to form a front bench, to create standard policy, basic, consistent policy that everybody can follow. And he's just been met with resistance. Apparently, in his statement that he posted on X, he's been frozen out of meetings, he's been mocked. And we have to ask ourselves serious questions. The Reform Party got into power, and it keeps saying to us that it's going to be this reforming force. But why isn't it reforming itself? Why isn't it preparing for the next general election? You would think everything will be full steam ahead now. We need to get structure. We need to form a front bench. We need to get policy sorted. We need to democratise the party, ready for when we face not just the general election, but the upcoming council elections in May. Why isn't this happening? And it all seems to me like it's just a smoke and mirrors party. It's not really meant to be any type of opposition. And I think this is what Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe have come to realise, that they're not really serious about reforming anything. And we've only got to look at the way that Nigel Farage has been flip-flopping around about Ukraine recently to understand this. So we'll have a look at something else as well, because apparently Rupert Lowe's been accused of harassing women, which isn't true, as you can see here. I'll bring it on. There we go. So let me be clear here. These allegations against women are not about me. They have been messed up in their statement, and I'm seeking legal advice. So it looks like it's been purposely done to smear Rupert Lowe. And don't worry, I'm going to get to Zai Yusuf in a bit, because there's something not right there, is there? So this is very interesting as well. GB News is reporting that the police received the complaint yesterday relating to the event in December. This complaint obviously went in just after I asked reasonable questions of Reform's leadership. A malicious attempt to drag my name through the mud. And I've been saying this for months. I don't trust Zai Yusuf. I don't trust Richard Tice. And I don't trust Nigel Farage. There was something very rotten at the core of the Reform Party. And it's obvious now, isn't it, what was going on? They're not interested in reforming the country at all. It was all just smoke and mirrors. They're just going through the pantomime. And you had Ben Habib, you had Rupert Lowe, who were really wanting to be a force for good. And it's just not the case, is it? We've been conned. I voted for the reform in the last general election. And since then, I've been really disappointed with their performance in Parliament. It's been abysmal. There's only ever been Rupert Lowe really making any headway regarding questions and stuff, like asking the hard questions. And I think it's just because he's more popular than Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage has a history of this. He torpedoed UKIP when it was building up. He torpedoed it by smearing Gerard Batten with Tommy Robinson, falsely accusing Tommy Robinson of being a far-right knuckle-dragging thug. And that was done deliberately to torpedo the UK UKIP, because UKIP was actually building its membership up, building its numbers up. And Nigel Farage knew that he was going to go away and build the Brexit Party, and he didn't want another party in a way, so he torpedoed it. Nigel Farage is not the person you think he is, and he's just utterly destroyed his own party because of his own ego. The reform could have been such a force for good with people like Rupert Lowe, Ben Habib at the helm. It really could have. But all that's gone now. It's gone. Rupert Lowe's just apologising to all the members and the people that voted for it. Nigel's destroyed any working class figure that came close to being popular. Exactly. Do you want to come in, Dino Bane? Do you want to come in and have a chat, mate? You can if you want to. I'll drop the link in the chat and we can have a talk if you want. I'll try and drop it in the chat, but I knew this was coming from months ago. The minute Rupert Lowe started showing support for Tommy Robinson, I knew his days were numbered. I didn't think they'd actually do it. I didn't think they'd actually do it to a sitting MP, but it just seems like they don't care. You'd have thought they would have done all this behind closed doors and, tried to preserve the party instead of just destroying it. Right, I'm dropping the link in the chat. If Dino Bane wants to come in and chat and discuss, that'd be great. Why can't I drop this in the chat? Paste. For some reason, it's not dropping the invite in the chat. Right, I'll try it again. Right. Copy. Copy. And there we go. Right. See if Dino Bane wants to come into the chat and have a discussion about what's going on with the Reform Party. Because Nigel Farage has got form with this. He really has. With regard to just smearing people and stuff like that. He's done it to Ben Habib. He did it to Howard Cox. And now he's done it to Rupert Lowe. And it just stinks of a stitch-up. It really does. It just absolutely stinks. I mean, the day after Rupert Lowe decides to criticise Nigel Farage and say, we don't really know if he's going to deliver what he says when he's Prime Minister. It's... I'll look at some of the comments in a minute as well. Reform do what they accuse Labour of doing. They silence anyone that speaks out. Nigel Farage is being a dictator of the party, and he doesn't want to relinquish control. And before they go into the May elections, before they go into any general election, by rights, they should really throw the leadership out to the membership and ask them to vote on it. So they have a mandate. So the leader has a mandate from the membership to go and be a leader and take the party in the direction that the membership wants to go. But that's not going to happen. From Reform, they think they are immune from constructive criticism. It's almost on all levels at all times. Exactly. That's how parties grow. And I've been saying this for a long time. Nigel Farage is not a good leader. He was great in the European Parliament and that sort of thing. He made some really good speeches. But what has he done since then? Yeah, he forced the Brexit vote. But from that point on, what has he done since he retired? And it looks like he only really jumped on the bandwagon because people were asking him to come back. And he got elected on the popularity that he would get reform, take reform really far. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Yeah, I think that's going to happen. I hope Rupert sues them for defamation, definitely. The main people that need to go, I would say, are probably the whole party at this point. You've got Zai Yusuf, he needs to go as chairman. The party's not going to go anywhere with that guy as chairman. He basically bought that chairmanship by donating a large sum of money. And they kicked out Ben Habib and they replaced him with Zai Yusuf. I would say that Richard Tice needs to go and Nigel Farage needs to go as leader as well. If the party, after they've done this now, nobody is going to have any faith in these people whatsoever. Nobody. You know, they're all bragging about how fast that membership count is going up. I've got a funny feeling that'll be spinning backwards like a speedometer once all this kicks off. I mean, if they're going to do this to one of their own MPs, smear them in order to get them kicked out of the party, what are they going to do in charge of the country? We're going to be no better off than when we've got Labour in charge, are we? I just don't trust them. I don't trust the leadership. I like the idea of reform on paper. I like the idea of Ben Habib, Rupert Lowe being at the helm of a political party. And we still got 4 years, so that could still happen. Hopefully, they can find some financial backing and they can get together. I don't know. People suggest that they get together with UKIP. I don't think that will happen. Maybe they'll come out with a party of their own with some financial backing, maybe from Elon Musk, to get a party off the ground in opposition to the Reform Party. That would be a sight to see, wouldn't it? The way I saw it occur, Nigel swung in on Tommy's call to the street to walk with Reform in the first march. Then it was messy, snowball. Well, apparently, according to sources, according to Paul Thorpe and others, Richard Inman, there was a behind the doors, shaking the hands agreement between certain people, allegedly, that if Tommy endorsed the Reform Party, then they would get behind Tommy. And then apparently when Tommy endorsed the party and they got into power, they basically just did, double crossed him, basically. And I'll drop it in the chat now, mate. Yeah, I dropped it once, sorry. I'll drop it in the chat. There you go. I've dropped the link in now, mate. Okay, sorry, mate. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just busy talking, mate. Sorry about that.
All right, buddy.
How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. I'm just letting you go on that rant so you can just keep going. I don't know how you put that bloody logo on your screen. I've just been looking there and I can't even do it. So I'm a moron. I didn't figure that out. Just put that down to my low IQ.
Oh, don't worry, mate. I've just been trying to figure everything out myself. Because they changed it all around at StreamYard. They've put in some new features and everything. So it's interesting.
How's my mic? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear fine. Yeah, great, mate. Yeah. Just before we start, I want to thank you for giving me that shout out, mate. That was brilliant. I really appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
I've been trying to do it to once a week to subscribe. I don't know, YouTubers that I think are worth shouting out. I think everyone should do this. No matter how big or small you are, you should shout out people, especially fellow British people that are trying to make a difference.
Well, I don't know if you know. I don't know how long you've been in YouTube, but I remember a time when they used to have video responses. You could post your videos under the video you wanted to respond to, and that's how people used to oh yeah, right, I'm interested in that channel. That looks pretty good. But YouTube got rid of that function, and it kind of got rid of the community. It got rid of the community sense of things with doing that.
Yeah, isn't that strange how they get rid of any sense of community or reaching out to people or coming together as a group? It's very strange, isn't it?
It is. It destroyed certain communities on YouTube, that, and for obvious reasons they wanted to do it for political reasons, wasn't it? So yeah. So what's your take on the situation with Reform Party then?
I can't say too much because you said before, right? I can't okay. I took down a video because I immediately got it wasn't just I got criticism by other people. I got immediate reaction from YouTube itself. And you know when you post a video and you get like this feeling where you know that something's going to happen? That's the kind of feeling that I had with those videos. Like I've took down loads of videos where I just have this feeling where YouTube is gearing up to do something. I've got a permanent strike on my channel, which means that they can literally just choose any video at will and say, okay, that's the same strike, your channel's done. So I've got to be really careful now.
It's like a suicide. It's like a suicide switch on your channel, isn't it? Really, you don't know what's going to trigger.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's the sword of Damocles. It's right above my head constantly, and I've got to really watch out for what I'm saying and what I'm doing and all this stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty edgy anyway.
Yeah,
I'm not really holding back. But I've got to. I do have to be careful. Like if I say the wrong thing for what they're looking at, then I'm in trouble. Like I think Islam's like a free. I think Islam's a free pass.
What I started doing to get around that was I started uploading the more spicy videos to Rumble and then linking to it from YouTube, and that seemed to work. So that might be a good way to get around it if you want to be a bit more spicy in your videos.
I don't think I can be much more spicy. I mean, I swear I've called the king of Islam. I mean, it's pretty spicy.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, in the comments.
And I think you've already got another channel as well, haven't you?
I've got my second channel, but they'll kill that straight away. I know they will.
Yeah.
They won't let that go. So, like for me personally, I have a certain amount of money that I need to earn every month. It's about $750. It's not a lot of money. So as long as I can earn that through YouTube, I'm all right. And then I can just do whatever I want. I'm trying to get to the point with Patreon where I can do that. But that's nothing to do with what you just said. With Farage.
I just want to say this as well, right? What a lot of people don't understand is that they think you're shilling when you monetize your channel. But what they don't realize is when you start to say certain things, your channel gets to a certain size and you're getting noticed, sometimes you can't do a regular job anymore now. It's a bit like Tommy Robinson. He'll never be able to do a normal job ever again because he'll always get cancelled. And it's kind of like cancellation protection that you've got some backup if you need it, isn't it? That's how I see it anyway.
Well, I actually quit my job, a very well-paid job, to do this full time. And I've been surviving on my savings for the last year. And it's getting to the point now where I've got about 6 months left. And then I'll have to start going back to work. But I'm probably at that point where you just said now, where I might not be able to get a job anymore. So I'm trying to just again, I don't think $750 a month is a big ask, which is why I really pinned all of my hopes on being able to do this successfully. And I'm getting to this point now. By the way, February the 6th, that is the exact date that my channel started actually gaining traction, because for about 8 months before that, it was doing nothing. The first 3 months, I got maybe 10,000 subscribers, and then absolutely nothing for about 6 months because they just they throttled it or something.
I was the same as you. They quarantine your channel. They just throttle back everything. All traffic coming to your channel just gets throttled back. I've noticed you're the same as me. You can't. When I look for you in the search engine on YouTube, you don't pop up. I don't pop up. So that's another thing they do. They just get. Yeah.
I've had a lot of people in the comments say that their comments have been deleted, that their subscriber, like they're not being subscribed. When they click on subscribe, it will say they're subscribed, but when they go back the next day, that they're not subscribed. Like so many people are saying that there's like dodgy shit happening.
Well, what's happening now is YouTube is actually deleting comments. If you post some swear words in the comments, they're deleting them now. If you post certain links,
normal.
Yeah,
no, that's normal. But what I've heard is they'll delete a comment after 24 hours, so you don't notice it.
Yeah, I don't get notifications for comments at all. And when I look on my channel, I've got loads of comments, but I've not been notified about them. I have to go into the management section of YouTube, where you can see all your comments, and then I can read them all, but they don't appear on my videos for some reason.
It's really scary times, especially considering Trump said that this was the era of free speech.
Yeah, you would think that he would take YouTube to task and say, you need to stop censoring or we're going to put some sanctions on you.
Well, I've noticed that Trump and Elon Musk have said absolutely nothing about YouTube during this whole rant about free speech and all this bullshit. Never once mentioned YouTube.
Yeah, I was hoping that maybe Elon would buy YouTube, because that would be amazing, wouldn't it? If he bought YouTube.
No, it would be awesome. Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
If YouTube was like X, it would just be Jesus Christ. Can you imagine
Yeah,
that?
it would be like the Wild West again on here, wouldn't it?
Anyway, your question about Farage. I'm sorry, like your subscribers must be pissed off.
No, it's great. No, it's like we're just having a conversation, mate. They're enjoying it by the looks of things. So yeah, I like it. I like it when people. I like it when people come in. I like to get people in the chat to come in and have a talk as well, because it's great having a back and forth with somebody instead of just me talking all the time, sort of thing.
Well, I have to give you a heads up. I am about half a bottle of whiskey down right now. It's a Saturday, and I thought I'd treat myself. So I might be a little bit more liberal with my speech.
Yeah. So Nigel Farage.
Yeah, like I said, I can't say too much because I do have to rely on my subscribers for money, unfortunately. And if I see them all just desert within like a couple of seconds or a couple of moments, that's going to really impact me. So I will just say that I've never trusted him. And the only reason that I made the videos, and I made some awesome killer videos, like music videos, all these kinds of things on my early channel. The reason I made those videos was it was a choice between Keir Starmer and Nigel Farage.
Yeah, that's the only reason I voted for them. It's like We've got no other viable party.
Now it's a choice between anyone else and Nigel Farage.
Yeah.
So I'm all in with Rupert Law. I think he's saying exactly what I want to hear. Again, like I prefaced this before, right? I'm always worried when you see someone come from nowhere and they say exactly the thing that you want to hear. It's like Vivek Ramaswamy or whatever he's called, that Indian guy in America. Like he just came from nowhere and he's saying all the perfect things, everything that you want to hear, like he's been studied or taught exactly what to say to appeal to the right. I'm worried about those people, but I don't have that feeling with Rupert Law.
Well, my feeling about the Reform Party is now, I mean, I've been getting on this track for a long time, that they're just like a placeholder party to stop any real right-wing grassroots party from forming and growing, because they're taking all the membership and that kind of thing. I believe that now. People have said that Reform is controlled opposition, and I think it is. I believe that now. Yeah, 100%. I think it's controlled opposition. Because
I don't think it was. Sorry, I don't think it was until the Muslim bought the CEO position, and then it became controlled.
If you look at his past, Goldman Sachs? He's got a lot of intertwined with the globalist sort of thing, and it's like he paid for his chairmanship, didn't he? He gave him a massive cash donation, and then he was made chairman. So.
Yeah, and do you know what annoys me more than anything else? It annoys me when people fall for the basic lies. Hey, I might be a Muslim, but I don't believe in what they believe in. I don't want to take over your country. I'm just a moderate. Well, I'm a successful Muslim that loves Britain. I don't believe in Takir or any of this stuff. I'm not that guy. And everyone's like, okay, that's fine. It's mental.
I've always said this, right? The people who are the moderate Muslims are the non-practicing Muslims. Practicing Muslims are not moderate by any stretch of the imagination. They're just not. And if he's a practicing Muslim, then he's not a moderate, because they have to believe in that text 100%, or they're not classed as Muslims.
Well, it's worse than that, Bill.
Yeah, go on. You there? Is he gone? I think I might have lost audio. Let's have a look at some of the comments. No such thing as a moderate Muslim. I agree, Enoch. Are you there, Dino? I think his audio's gone. I think we've lost audio. Moderates don't exist. They basically aren't. This is what I was saying. Your moderate, your basic, your moderate Muslims or non-practicing Muslims, like you've got non-practicing Christians, they'll celebrate Christmas and Easter, but they won't go to church every Sunday or anything like that. It's the same with your non-practicing Muslims that people think are moderates. They'll probably celebrate Ramadan and all the religious celebrations. Is he back in? I'll just bring him back in.
All right,
There you go, mate. I think your audio dropped out.
Oh no, I dropped out. I don't know what happened to my internet. Maybe YouTube was doing his dirty tricks.
Yeah, it's after us, mate.
I don't.
Yeah.
What was I was saying something about something. I can't remember.
We're talking about moderate Muslims and non-practicing.
Iran. Yeah,
yeah,
they don't exist.
yeah, they don't exist at all. The people who they think are moderate Muslims are the non-practicing ones. Like you've got non-practicing Christians, and obviously they are a bit more secular. They're a bit more westernized than your full-on Islamist Muslims in this country.
Yeah, but I mean, there's also other groups that we're not allowed to mention that have a serious impact on our country. And it's a shame that we really can't mention these people. And I don't believe that they're all part of the same group. There's obviously certain sects. There's like Muslims, right? You've got the Arabs that are actually quite moderate compared to the ones that we've got in this country. And you've got that other group that also have splits and factions in what they want. But we're just not we're not allowed to mention them. We're not allowed to discuss them. And that's also a serious problem.
Yeah. We are, to be honest with you, it's like what Katie Hopkins was saying. She couldn't believe the difference in the country when she was out of it to when she came back, because obviously when you go to a country and they've got free speech, you can say what you like, and then you come back here, you realise the differences. I mean, I don't think people actually realise just how much free speech we've actually lost. They just don't until they actually.
You still live in the UK, right?
Yeah, I still live in the UK. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. I left the UK for a job, and again, it was about a year and a half ago, and I can't go back. I know I can't go back. They'll arrest me at the airport. They'll put me in a Muslim prison, and you'll probably never see me again. So there's no chance that I can go back to the UK right now. The amount of stuff that I've said on my channel, no chance.
To be honest with you, when we had all the riots last year, I was expecting a knock at the door from the things I was saying, mate, on X and Twitter. I thought, this is it, but I don't care. If they come and take me, they come and take me, sort of thing. But nobody ever actually came. But I was paranoid about that. I was like, because nobody knows in this country where the actual limit is in speech, because the laws are so nebulous that they're not even practiced consistently. So somebody else says something really, really nasty, like we have the pro-Hamas hate marches where they're chanting, basically death to all the Jews and that kind of stuff. And then somebody says something like, I think that all the sexual offenders should go home. They get arrested. So nobody really knows what they can and cannot say. There's no defining mark.
You've got CM Designer in the chat there saying that she thought I wasn't in the UK. I mean, listen, do you think I'd really be able to say what I was saying if I was still in the UK? I've said some pretty controversial stuff. Stabby Muslims,
Yeah.
I've said some controversial stuff. So there's no way that I'd be able to survive right now if I was in the UK. Absolutely zero chance.
I think to be honest with you, that's why a lot of people don't speak out. I mean, I've seen channels. I mean, Andre Walker, right? I love the guy. I like watching some of his content, but he censors himself that much that I don't understand him sometimes. I need a code book to translate what he's saying. It's like, if you've got to censor yourself to that point where you can't even say what you want to say, then we're in real trouble.
Is that the guy with white hair?
Yeah, he's the one that came out speaking about Tommy Robinson, about how he was being treated in jail and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he calls he says he uses just first letter code words, right? He's like Z's and B's and M's and.
Yeah, it's like, what are you talking about, mate?
Yeah.
It's
But
like I
I'll
don't.
be honest, his channel's doing well, so it must work.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I can understand that, but unfortunately, I wish X would launch a video sharing ability on X, because that would kill YouTube. All the right wingers would just leave YouTube, and they would go to X. And Elon was on about doing it. He was on about creating a video sharing ability on X. So whether that's still in the pipeline, I don't know.
All
But
right,
if
let
that
me
ever
ask you a
happened,
question.
yeah, go on.
Every time I make a video, I've always got these people in the comments saying they're all actors. It's all the big game. Everyone that you think that you can trust, you can't trust them because they're all part of the play. They're all part of the pantomime. Elon Musk is an actor. Donald Trump is an actor. There's nothing you can do. What do you say to people like that?
They're paranoid. I mean, these are literally the paranoid people. Now, at some point, you've got to draw a line, but you've got to ask them evidence for it. It's like, well, if you're saying that, where's your evidence for that? And how are you coming to those conclusions? Because if they've got evidence and they can prove it, fair enough. But if they're just saying that because they're paranoid, then you just dismiss them, don't you? It's like you've got no evidence.
I think it
Now,
goes further than that, actually. I think it goes down to the a really fundamental human condition. And it's where it's like a God complex, when you have to believe that something is controlling something horrible, otherwise it just doesn't make sense. You need someone or something to be out there, some giant controller, some giant puppet master that is behind the scenes, making all the horrible things real. Otherwise, it's just chaos, and
I
people
would
hate chaos.
I would say, instead of like saying everybody's an actor, I would say that everybody's got their own agenda, and some of it's good, some of it's bad, because nobody's perfect. Nobody completely acts in everybody else's best interest. There was always an element of they're looking after self-preservation in that, and I think that's a more honest thing to say. That yeah, you trust people on their actions, not what they say. Basically, that's the way I go anyway, and that's what was like. I was listening to everything that Nigel Farage was actually saying, but then it was like there's just something not right. There's something not right about what he's saying, and what he was saying wasn't matching up to his actions. I mean, when I watched that interview where he basically did a U-turn about the Muslim vote, about not alienating it, about saying
Jesus.
that mass deportations were impossible, yet you've got a massive country like America doing just that right now. It's not the fact that it's a political impossibility; it's the willingness to do it, and he just doesn't have it, unfortunately.
It is
That's
a
what I
little
thought
bit
from that anyway.
strange. I get serious Zelensky vibes when I look at Farage.
Yeah, he's not interested. He's not interested in reforming the country, not at all. I mean, everybody that has ever spoken about him that don't like him has said he's self-serving, and that's obvious. We don't really need to be told that. We know he's self-serving because look at the thing when he was in UKIP with Gerard Batten, and the thing that he did when he left there. He torpedoed the party because he threw all his toys out the pram because he wasn't in charge anymore.
And he did that with Douglas Carswell as well.
Yeah, he's done it with lots of people. I mean, it's obviously that this whole thing with Rupert Lowe is an absolute stitch-up. There's no doubts in my mind about that whatsoever. No.
The worst thing is that people will fall for this, and I can see it right now. Like online, they're literally falling for this. They are turning their backs on Rupert straight away because they don't know him, right? They haven't kept up with his Twitter feeds. They don't know what he's actually saying. Like, he's the most based MP that I've ever seen in this country, ever. He's saying exactly the right things.
If we had 651 of Rupert Lowe in Parliament, where they're all acting
oh my God.
in the best interest of this country, we'd have no issues whatsoever, mate. None at all. We'd be well. It wouldn't be, would it? It's like we'd be spot on. We'd be like, yeah, we've actually got a Parliament that's looking after us and has got the best interest. And there were times when it was like that, believe it or not. But unfortunately, over the years, and this is what I said in my other videos, it's like Parliament has become the tyrannical monarchy that we replace with the Parliament. They become exactly like that monarchy, where they no longer serve the people, they serve themselves now. And that's what we had the Magna Carta to get rid of. wasn't it?
It's a real terrible shame what's happened to this country. And I hear this all the time. Like, people say that people aren't waking up. But, you know, when
They
you
are.
see...
I think there's quite a few people that they're actually awake. They're just too afraid to voice their opinions.
No, I get that. But what I'm getting, what I want to say here is, it's not that they're waking up or not waking up. Again, I've had like a lot of whiskey, so forgive me.
It's all right, mate. Don't worry about it.
It's the gaslighting by the media and the apathy that's setting in. That's what's disturbing to me. Everyone's being black-pilled, but they're just 7% of the population. Like, we can literally do whatever the fuck we want to these people. We can just get them out. We can kick them out straight away. We don't need to be beholden to them, but they're so black-pilled because the majority of people just go to work and they're stressed and they've been conditioned to be in this way. And by the way, work itself is a con. You know, there's no way that people need to work 12 hours, 10 hours, 8 hours a day, go home stressed, have to like rush some shitty food down their mouths because it's this horrible mass-produced food that isn't good for you. And you've been told to eat this slop all the time. There's so many things that are conditioning us to be unhealthy, to work too hard, to be too stressed, to go home and argue with your wife instead of having babies. It's unbelievably bad for the human condition.
We're wage slaves. We're just slaves. We're just slaves to the wage. We're just conditioned to pay these bills. We're not even living anymore now. We're just existing.
No,
a lot of people just existing.
It's worse than the serfs. At least the serfs had 4 days off a week.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's crazy, mate. And I got this argument a lot of my videos of the last few days where people are saying we can't go down to London and protest because we're working all hours God sends to put food on the table, pay our bills and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, you can't blame people because there's no out for anybody, is there? We're just taxed to death in this country. I mean, what is it, 70% now? We're up to 70%.
Well, that's something I've got something in my favor. In my eyes, I can't go back to the UK for the rest of my life unless the government changes to a degree where I'll feel safe going back. I feel like a stranger now. Like, I literally can't go back. So that means the government can go fuck itself. I'm not paying any tax. That's it. I'm done.
A lot of people just cashing out. They're like saying, why the hell am I working 90 hours a week when you're just giving all this free stuff to these people that have come in here and never contributed anything to the country? And you can't blame them. You can't blame them for that whatsoever.
Do you mind me swearing on your channel, by the way? I know
No,
it's a
you
bit
can
late.
swear, mate. You can swear all you want, mate.
Thank you. I have noticed, by the way, that if you don't swear on YouTube, your videos are promoted a little bit more. I don't know how much more, like what the percentage worth is, whether it's actually worth your time not swearing and being coherent and actually saying your natural language, but it does.
From what I've gathered, right, and this is from videos I've watched on YouTube, because people have actually done studies on this. Apparently, if you don't swear within the first 7 minutes of your video, you're okay.
Oh, 7 minutes?
Yeah.
That's too long for me. In fact, I think that's too long for most people. I think the attention span of most people watching YouTube videos in the UK is about 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's like the long form videos have gone now. So if you want to do a really long, like, debunking of what somebody's saying, then you've really got to cut it up into like parts and release it in 5-minute segments, really, which is a shame, really. I blame TikTok. TikTok's reduced people's attention spans. They want fast, quick stuff, don't they? And stuff.
The CCP.
So, yeah. But never mind.
And again, right, tell me what you know about the CCP and China and how they've changed the UK, if anything.
They've changed a hell of a lot, haven't they? I mean, I don't think people realise just how much of our infrastructure they have control of. I mean, they have a lot of control over our energy. Not a lot of people know that. Our water. Obviously, when Boris Johnson was in power, there was a lot of controversy over certain communications that they had access to and stuff like that. I think it was the same in America as well. It's like, why are we letting these people who are clearly our enemies because they're not our friends, are they? Having so much power over our country, and it's Parliament, isn't it? It's Parliament. These people have been bought and paid off. It's obvious they have bought and paid off. They don't serve us anymore. They serve themselves. There's even accusations flying around now, allegedly, that what's his name, David Lammy, is actually a Chinese spy. Keir Starmer was behind the Iron Curtain doing stuff in work camps that nobody had a clue what he was doing.
I think you're giving David Lammy a lot of credit there. I don't think he's smart enough to be a spy.
No. I think he's probably going to be like a decoy. Have you seen Spies Like Us? He's probably like Chevy Chase in that movie. They're like decoys, aren't they? Where they send a couple of idiots out to be spies to distract from the real spies.
A useful idiot, yeah.
Yeah. But
did you hear? Have you heard about the mega embassy that the Chinese are building in the centre of London?
Yeah, and apparently David Lammy lobbied with Angela Rayner to get this thing built.
Of course, the ginger fucking growler.
Yeah,
I hate that bitch. I swear to God.
If Keir Starmer, for whatever reason, gets kicked out as Prime Minister and she becomes Prime Minister, this country is going to nosedive overnight. Definitely. Because she's not exactly the brightest star in the sky, is she? Angela Rayner.
No, but she complains about that. She's like, why does everyone call me stupid? It's because you're fucking stupid.
Yeah. Oh dear. And it's like, you know what? I said this the other day, and I don't want to offend anybody by saying this, that the entire Labour front bench is like looking at a special needs class.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? Isn't it? It really is.
Yes, it is. I like that. That's good. Especially with what's that Keir Starmer clone called? Something. What's his name? It literally looks like Starmer, but like underdeveloped.
It's probably his clone. It's like a little mini me.
What's he called though? I forgot his name. West Streeting or something.
West Streeting. That's it. Yeah, you've got it.
There we go.
Yeah, he's got the personality of a sponge, hasn't he? That guy. He's definitely not. I mean, I'm doing a video tomorrow, mate, and you've got to watch it because I couldn't believe it when I was watching it. I'm not going to say too much, but it was like, I just can't believe they've made this. I really can't. But it's going to be a good one. It's like, I was gobsmacked. I was like, what? It'll be interesting tomorrow. It's quite a funny one. It's like
describe it. Jesus, I'm curious now. Describe what you're talking about.
It's propaganda. It was about, when all the grooming gang.
Of course it is.
Yeah, you know when the grooming gang reports came out. Well, this certain NGO made a counter propaganda video about that, and you can imagine what it's like, mate. Right? I'll describe it to you. Right? Imagine a situation where all the Asians are replaced with white 16-year-old boys, and at the end of the video we have an Asian savior.
Oh, I'm gonna make a music video with that.
It's, mate, oh boy. But yeah, it's definitely getting a bit of a look.
Oh, by the way, for everyone that's listening, right? How many? 30 people now. So for all you 30 people out there, I literally just released a music video on my channel. And Vindicator, can you actually go on my channel and look at this? I don't know if you can figure it out with the
thing.
YouTube.
Is, right, I'm on a shitty little Acer laptop, and every time I try to show any sort of video on this thing, it goes mental and just like tries to headbutt me. And what are you trying to do? Are you trying to kill me? But,
so the reason I made that is because I literally think that people, they don't realize what's happening. They don't realize that they have a decision to make, that they have a choice to make, and doing nothing is the wrong choice. That's the entire reason for the video.
Yeah, I bet you. I mean, I don't blame. I've said this in a video the other day. I said I don't blame any young people for leaving the UK right now because they've got no opportunities here at all. I mean, what do you stay in the country for? You stay in the country because you may have the possibility of getting a home, raising a family, and having job security, or even starting your own business. You've got none of that.
Yeah, nothing
in this country. None at all. So I don't blame you, mate. I do not blame you all for getting out of here. If I was your age, I would be gone now.
No,
I'll
I
be gone
didn't
as
want.
well.
I didn't
Yeah.
choose to leave. I didn't choose to leave. It's just that I can't come back.
Yeah.
Have you
I
got
don't
an
think you
echo?
want
Or
to
is
come
that
back,
me?
mate. In the next 4 years, I mean, Reform keep saying they're talking a big game, but it's all going to be over in 4 years, even less than that with the way the Labour Party's going. I mean, look at the way they've just absolutely destroyed the judicial system by putting these insanely crazy conditions in about considering people for sentences, creating a two-tier judiciary. I mean, they said it didn't exist, but oh yeah, here it is. It exists now. We've just made it law.
Oh, and she recommends that you don't listen to it.
Yeah, it's like it's just to fob people off. Of course, they're going to listen to it. To be honest with you, it was happening even before they made it into law, wasn't it? Because we've got the same sort of activist judges that we've in this country that are just far left, and they go by what their politics say and not by what the actual case says.
So
And
Kenny's Craig says, what can we do about it? I've had this idea for a long time, and it comes from history. Obviously, I haven't come up with this myself, but I think that we should have a long march from Scotland all the way down the spine of the UK, and people can come in, dip out, whatever they want, but it's a long march throughout the entirety of the country through to London, and that is our protest. It is the long march of the UK. I don't know that's what I would want to see. Everyone can get involved then, and all the Muslim bastards can just piss off. They can't get involved because we're marching down motorways, we're doing whatever we want, we're blocking
yeah,
up
we're
traffic,
mobilised.
and everyone just gets involved. And
yeah, I mean, I understood where Paul thought was coming from about the static protests where you're going to have agent provocateurs trying to infiltrate it and turn it towards violence and stuff like that.
You can't do that with a march.
Yeah, exactly. But he doesn't realise how frustrated people are that they can't join in with these marches down in London because they simply can't get down to them. People feel left out. I get where he's coming from.
No, there's a difference between a march and a protest. I'm talking about an actual march where people walk from the top of Scotland all the way down the UK, and they don't stop. It will probably take a month to get all the way down, but people will come in and drop out and then come back in again. They'll camp in tents during the night. It will be revolutionary.
I think that's a great idea. So it's a great idea. It would work as well because then people would see you marching through and they'd be like, "Well, what's going on here?" And you could have your banners at front saying exactly what it's all about and stuff. And it would have a massive impact.
You can't co-opt it. You can't destroy it. You can't have infiltrators because the people that are there will be there for the long term. There's no way to infiltrate that.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. And I mean, what do you think? Did you watch my videos? Do you think I overreacted to what he actually said? Did you watch his live stream?
No. Listen, I know you like Paul Thorpe.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever. I think he's too centrist.
I will say this about him: his heart's in the right place, but I think he's very naive about what's happening in the country.
I don't think that. I don't want to say anything bad about anyone, right? He's obviously trying to fight for the country, but at the end of the day, you've got to be a realist. And you've got to understand that there's going to be hard choices that need to be made. And you can't be in the middle like Farage. Farage is a good example, right? He always wants to be in the center of everything, never making a hard choice.
Do you agree with my position that I stated in the first video that if you're going up against a hard left opposition, you need a hard right opposition to counter it?
Yeah. That's exactly what I said in the reply. I mean, I believe that. You cannot fight a hard left position with a centrist position. It's impossible. You're going to lose.
It's like what I said. You only go to the middle to compromise. If the other side is willing to compromise, you go to the middle to compromise with them. But if they're a hard left opposition, they're not going to compromise, and you're just going to have to go to them all the time. And
if the other side wants to tax everyone that's a non-believer and they want to create a slave society that doesn't believe in their religion, then being a centrist doesn't really work.
yeah, it's just fence sitting, and you're sitting on a fence because you don't want to upset the boat. Well, when your country's in the state that we're in right now, then you can't afford to do that. You've got to upset the boat. You've got to, Have you ever
I
watched
keep forgetting.
Yuri Bezimov, his interview?
I'll preface this with one second, right? I keep forgetting that a lot of people don't associate. No, a lot of people don't. How can I explain this? A lot of people aren't at the same point that I'm at in understanding and the realization of what's happening. So when I say things, maybe it seems controversial, or maybe it seems like
well, this is like what I said. I said we're all on the same political road. We're just on different parts of it at this point in time. Some of us are further along. Some of us only just started the journey, and that they're starting at the starting point, probably where I was 5 years ago. And
but what I'm trying to say is a lot of people don't really understand how radical the people are that we're opposing. Like they listen to us and they think that we're being radical by what we're saying, but we're not. We're actually just literally saying what they are saying. These people do want to give us a slave tax for being a non-Muslim. That's in their book, right?
yeah,
I'm not being like controversial when I say this. Like they're open about this. They want to control this population. They want to take it over. They want to take over the country. They want to implement Sharia law. They want to completely change our entire society. And if we don't convert to Islam, they want to impose us again. They want to impose a slave tax and actually enslave the people that do not convert. They are very open about this.
I've got a very unique perspective, you see, because I did private security out in Iraq for 5 years. So I've seen them in their native habitat and how they operate when the religion is the dominant force there. And I've seen Iraqi Christians, they're persecuted, they're not treated very well at all. They have to pay, I think it's like what you were saying, it's a tax. It's a
tax.
Christian tax.
It is.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it, but they have an actual name for it. I'm not an Islam scumbag, so I don't remember their names. So they've got a name for the tax that they implement on non-Muslims, and it's called something, but whatever. You guys go find it out.
And to be honest with you, they think that everything's going to be all...
The jizya, yeah, there we go, in the comments.
That's it. Hang on, I'll put it on here. Who's put it on? Who's put that? Oh, there we go. Enoch. There we go. That's it. So basically, when I was over there, people think it's all going to be sunshine and rainbows if Islam, it's going to be, but they're divided. They're deeply divided because once they take over, they start fighting amongst themselves because you've got so many different factions of Islam. They're not unified. People think Islam is unified. It's not. You've got the Sunnis, the Shias. You've got different sects that don't believe in certain parts of the religious texts, and they fight amongst themselves.
Vindicator. I just want to mention this isn't just Islam. We're seeing the same thing in South Africa. We're seeing the same thing in all of the Western societies. Any white society right now is being attacked viciously, and we're seeing the same thing everywhere. It's not look at particularly even this it's not particularly Islam. It's not particularly Islam, right? Islam's just the weapon that they're using here in this one country. But in other countries, they're using different tactics to achieve the same goals. It's the destruction of Western values. It's the destruction of white culture. And again, we're not allowed to mention the people that are doing this. And it sounds controversial saying this, but I mean, I'm sorry. It's been going on for too long. There are certain people in this world that literally want to destroy Western society. And that's it.
Definitely. It's obvious. I mean, we've got diversity, equity, and inclusion laws, which is basically racism against white people. Its whole doctrine is less white people in places. That's it. That's what it's saying.
I look at South Africa and it kills me. It really does. I look at Zimbabwe it's all... I made a video about this recently, and it was this black woman saying that what you're seeing right now in your white countries is the result of your colonization, and everything that happens to you is a result of this. You deserve it. She's basically saying that we're doing this for revenge. She's not doing anything because she's a low IQ moron. It's someone else doing this, but I don't care about that. What we should do is reject all of this, reject it all, kick everyone out, and then recolonize their countries.
If you
recolonize their countries, make them good, and let them live in those countries instead of coming here.
If you want to look at the driving force that's globally, that's pushing everything, it's Marxism, because the people in South Africa are communists. They're communists.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you fall into that trap, then you've got the Russia conundrum.
Yeah. That's why, I mean, we talked about this the other day on another live stream about how China's colonizing Africa at an alarming rate.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No one talks about China. You have to remember this, right?
Yeah.
China are a sneaky bunch of bastards. And I have a Chinese fiance, and she knows she knows about this. They are sneaky bastards. They will be very quiet while they're not like the right. Okay, I'm going to mention the word. They're not like the Jews. They don't boast about it. The Chinese are very sneaky. They will do exactly what they want to do over a very long term, very, very long term, and they won't say a damn thing about it. They'll just watch everything burn, and then they'll buy the land once it's gone.
They infiltrate. They're smart about it. They infiltrate it. I mean, most of our debt is owed to China.
Do you know what's worrying?
They've been buying up our debt at alarming rates as well.
It's incredibly worrying that we constantly think that everyone's nice.
Yeah, I think Donald Trump's got China pinned for what they really are. And
India
like
as well.
Said, Donald Trump's got China pinned for what they actually are. He knows exactly what they're up to.
Yeah, but it's not just China. You've got India. You've got obviously Israel, which I don't think Israel is actually a big problem. I think Israel is an American friend, and they've obviously got a lot of influence, and they're fucking mental. But I don't think they're the huge influence that we see on the world. I think it's actually coming from the Arabic countries. It's coming from China, and it's coming from India as well.
Yeah, it's like the emerging superpowers, aren't they?
Yeah. Enoki says India's good. Yeah, whatever, mate. Try their street food.
India's good. Sneaky politician. Let's just have a look at some of the comments. Try and
ideologically speaking.
Sneaky politicians, liars, sneaky religion, sneaky Brits. Sneaky is the name of the global game. Yep. I mean,
I don't think the British are sneaky at all. I think we are genuinely forthright, and that's why we're being fucked over.
We are as a people, but I think our government is, oh God, they are severely. Jesus. The whole political class is severely compromised, the whole lot of them. And if only we Wars had ears, mate, in Parliament, in the back rooms, about all the back dealings that are going on in there and stuff. I would love to know.
Harry Flashman says that he's a Zionist non-Jew. What does that mean?
I think that means that he's a Jew that wants a non-Jew.
No, non-Jew.
Yeah, wants an Israeli state. I think that's what it is, isn't it?
Vindicator, do you really care if Israel has a state? Do you give a shit?
I'll be honest with you. I'm more concerned about Britain, mate. To be honest with you.
Exactly. I don't give a shit. Have your state. You know what? Bomb Palestine into the ground. I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Do what you want. Just don't fuck up my country.
Yeah. It's like if you want to go to war, the idea is to win it, not to stop halfway through doing your job. Just destroy them. If Hamas have attacked you, just wipe them off the face of the earth and be done with it. We did it in World War II. We absolutely destroyed Germany, and we made them surrender.
I'm going to disagree with you on that. I don't think we won that war.
Okay.
I mean, does it feel like you won the war? Our entire empire just dismantled straight away, immediately, gone. And since then, we've just seen a massive decline in the living standards of this country. Now, I'm not saying there's an agenda or a conspiracy, but I don't think we won that war. I think Russia won that war.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. I think they got the better deal out of that, didn't they? I mean, when was it? We still had rationing towards the end of the 1950s. We were that bad.
For 15 years, yeah.
Yeah, we did not come out of that very well at all. But I think it was a war we had to fight. We had no choice but to fight it. But yeah, I mean, the alternative was not worth bare thinking about, was it? But yeah, definitely Russia. They got the better deal. I think maybe some kind of better negotiation should have taken. But they just grabbed land, didn't they? They were just too big. They were just going to grab land.
Yeah, look at John Skidmore in your comments. He's right on this. General Patton actually wanted to continue the war further and move into Russia and destroy Russia itself. The fact that we didn't basically made Russia the winners of that war.
Yeah, I mean, it gave them a head start in the superpower stakes, didn't it? But obviously, communism and stuff, they eventually collapsed. But we're no better.
So next subject. Let's plow through this. Let's drop some more bombs.
Yeah, I've never really looked at it through that perspective before about Russia actually them being the victors that won the war. I mean, obviously, it's like winning a war, but really it's like the taste of defeat at the same time, isn't it? That
no, you're talking about a Pyrrhic. You're talking about a Pyrrhic victory, right? But it wasn't. It wasn't a Pyrrhic. For Britain, we lost. We lost. We lost an empire. We lost our national identity. We lost everything.
Well, like you said, because of it, we had to give up our empire because we couldn't afford to keep it anymore because we didn't have the money to do it, did we? No, we couldn't.
100%. No, we could have.
Yeah.
We lost. The Americans really hated our empire. Like, they hated the fact that we had an empire. They're the ones that actually destroyed the empire. They made us give up every single territory. The Americans have been our enemies for a long time. Not many people know this. And I'm not saying they're our enemies now, but they're certainly not our greatest allies. They've been cunts for a fucking long time.
I remember during the Falklands War when we asked President Reagan for help, and he says he didn't like the fact that the English troops were on American soil, even though it was like South American soil. He actually said that, and they didn't really give us any help during that war whatsoever. And that was them just abandoning us and saying, "No, we're not getting involved in this."
But he did eventually come out and say that we were allowed to defend our territory.
Yeah, which is really nice of him, wasn't it?
Very nice of him, yeah. Very nice.
Yeah. So look, right. I think he's trying to explain something here. That's what he's trying to explain. So, except Zionism is just the wanting of a Jewish state land, whereas Islamism is desire for political Islam, not merely politicians that are of Islam.
Sure, then Zionism should no longer exist because you've already got your land, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've been being in the Middle East and witnessed it for myself. It will never be stable, that area, because it won't be. It'll just never be stable. It's been unstable for centuries, for thousands of years, and
that's why they want to move them all to Ireland.
Yeah.
Get rid of the problem. Just put them in a fucking island, literally called Ireland, and just leave them there and see what happens.
Yeah. It's like no good. I know we're not like really bashing Islam and stuff like that, but wherever Islam goes, chaos follows. It always does. And
Inoko. I'm not saying anything, dude. But don't put words in my mouth. All right.
So are you saying that every country that exists should end nationalism?
I get these kind of, like, I don't think, like, Inoko, you've said some amazing things, but sometimes, like, you piss me off. I don't believe anything like that. I hate it when people put words in my mouth. I think every country is allowed to exist. And the problem that I have right now is that we're being told in England that we are not English anymore, that anyone can be English, anyone, right? It started with British, right? Anyone can be British. And we were like, yeah, sure, that makes sense. You know, we're part of the Commonwealth, all these weirdos that are coming here, you know, they're claiming to be British, and we just want to be nice to them. We're like, yeah, sure, you're British now. Yeah, that's fine. You can stamp your passport and say you're British. But now they say that they're English as well, and they're Scottish, and they're Irish, and they're fucking Welsh, and they're not. That's my fucking race. English is a race of people. It's not a nationality, guys. It's not something, it's not like America where you go there and you become American because you land on the land of America and suddenly you're American. No, the land of England was born from the English people. We are English. That's our race. It's like calling a black person a Chinese. I'm English because that's my race.
America is a completely different country, isn't it? Because it's always been made up of immigrants. It's always been that way.
It's a melting pot, yeah.
Yeah. It's not like that a country like ours that's existed for thousands of years. And, you know, people just don't understand that. I wouldn't
Our
consider
country
myself,
was
I wouldn't go to Japan and get citizenship and then call myself Japanese.
Well, no, Japan was named after the Japanese. England was named after the English. Americans were named after the country of America. There's a total it's completely different. We were our country was not named.
Well, they were the Angles.
I feel like I'm talking.
They were the Angles. Our tribes were the Angles. So that's where it comes from. England, Angle land.
I get that. But I think people miss the point. They think of America and think anyone can go to a country and be like Brazil, right? Everyone in Brazil thinks they're Brazilian because no one's Brazilian. But the difference is that you can't be English. It's an actual race of people.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with saying that. I am English. It is a specific race. It's like saying I am a Chinese person. I'm a Japanese person. There's specific races of people in this world. And even if you're American, right? You're still English because you belong to England. You're from the mother country. That's what the Chinese people say. No matter where you go in the world, how many generations you're born in a different country, you're still Chinese because you're from the mother country. It's the same thing. You can't take that away from us.
Do you mind if I invite Enoch in? So
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. If you want to come in, Enoch, and have a chat, mate, I'll drop the link so you can, just put your case forward.
I think he's right on the same. He's on the same level as us.
Yeah.
Remember to look when he's in the lobby, though. Don't just ignore that.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that, mate. I've got it down at the bottom now. Yeah. He's coming. He's just checking his camera. He says so. Yeah.
You're going on camera.
I agree with you. You can be British, but you can't be English because English is the native. No, definitely not. And
I always say to my girlfriend,
nothing racist about saying that because you wouldn't. You wouldn't go to places like India or Pakistan then claim their identity, say I'm Pakistani or I'm Indian, because that would just be ridiculous.
Yeah, but when you go to India and they celebrate the fact that they've conquered Britain because we've elected. Well, we didn't elect him, but an Indian prime minister suddenly appears from fucking nowhere, and they're like, "Yeah, we've conquered Britain." Well, what does that tell you?
Yeah.
Is he really English?
He could be British. He could be British, but he could never be English.
Sure.
Yeah.
I always say this. Yeah, I do believe. If I really want to be a dick, I could be like, actually, British means English, Scottish, Northern Irish, and Welsh, and everyone else can just piss off.
I mean, that term is like kind of a collective for the whole home nations, isn't it? The term British. So yeah, you're right, definitely, yeah. But I keep getting reminded in the comments that there are Scottish people and Irish people, and that, yeah, I get that. But on forms, I don't know about you, but on forms in England, I don't put British. I always put English, and if there's not a box for it, I put English at the bottom because that's what I am. I'm English. I'm not. When I'm in my own country, I class myself as English.
I used to be really proud of writing British. And now, as I've got older, I'm incredibly more belligerent about writing English.
Yeah.
I even actually dislike the term British now.
I've not seen him. I don't think he's come in yet. Have you got the link, Enoch? I'll post it again. If you want to come in, mate.
Oh, do you know what I'll do, actually? Shall I put a post out or something on my YouTube thing saying live stream?
Yeah, it's great. It's a great chat. I like this. I like the back and forth.
Do I just go on my community? I'm shit with YouTube. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll just go on my community page or something. Sure, I'll just post something.
Right,
hey, come here.
Now. I don't think his camera's on. His camera's off, so yeah. Yeah, you're in now, Enoch, mate.
You can hear me?
Yeah, we can. You just need to turn your volume up a little bit, mate.
Okay, just hang on a sec. Turn my mic. Oh, just hang on. I've got sound coming through both. I need to.
A Rhodesian, huh?
Oh no, South African.
You're setting up.
Yeah, give me a second. Damn it. Carry on while I figure this out. I'm just.
No, we're going to wait for you. No, we're going to wait. We're going to wait for you belligerently, and we're going to be silent about it.
Why isn't my cam? Okay, I don't need my cam. I don't really need my cam. I'm true. Hang on. What you can't
do not?
Hang on. You say you.
How have you guys got like avatars and stuff? But mine's this weird.
Just turn your camera off, mate. If you turn your camera off, you can. When you come into the studio, there's like a little icon on the front of your screen.
Yeah, it's off. My cam's off now.
This is garbage. Why have I got this gear thing?
I think it's because using OBX, isn't it? The OBX symbol will appear if you're using that.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. Yeah, it's great.
Okay, cool. I'll turn my cam off. I don't know.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Can't hear me, yeah? That sucks. Anyway, yeah, okay, yeah. So it's been a while. I did my first, went live on YouTube for the first time, last week, a few days ago with Vin. First time in about 3-4 years. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
All right, we don't want your life story.
Anyway,
I'm sorry, I'm being a dick. Again, I've had a lot of whiskey. All right, so just forgive me.
I've also look. I had a day off today. I finished work around 1 a.m. this morning, and so I had the day off, and so I started hitting the bottle around sometime this afternoon.
Well, I've been told, and I'm not sure if I believe this, but I've been told that I have an abrasive personality.
No.
Wow.
So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, what were you saying, dude?
I think you've got to kind of have a bit of an abrasive personality when you're on YouTube, haven't you, really? You've got to have that little bit of edge about you, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
anyway,
definitely.
so you two, you were talking about Zionism and nationalism.
Yeah, it's a bit hard. It's a bit hard to put it across in text when somebody's speaking about it. Yeah. What I was basically saying is that trying to get across is that Zionism. What's Zionism? Zionism is basically Jewish Israeli nationalism. The kind of cliched definition is the rights, which you can say for every nation of people, every ethnicity, is the right to self-determination in their own historical homeland, national homeland, where they came from. So, if people who object to Zionism are claiming to be nationalists, the way I see it are kind of a bit hypocritical, because if you're against nationalism for one, if you support nationalism for your own country and for other countries, how can you object to nationalism for different people?
So just to explain it to me, right? Nationalism. So nationalism is basically the pride in your home nation, isn't it? It's like it's like patriotism. Nationalism, I like my culture. I push my culture and that sort of thing. So Zionism is like the wanting the creation of the Israeli state, isn't it? So are those two different things, or are they the same thing?
No, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, but there's a bit more to it than just pride in your national homeland. I mean, as the so-called official definition of Zionism is the belief in the right to self-determination of the Jewish people in their ancestral historical homeland. So it's slightly more than just pride, and that should apply to every country, to every ethno, to England, to Scotland, to France, to what you can say, every kind, China, every country in the world where the people are ethnic to that country. You know what I mean? To Arabia, Saudi Arabia, Arabs should feel nationalism. Shut the fuck up, Cash.
Do you think Israel is like a unique case because there are countries around it that don't want it to exist, unlike here in the UK, like England and stuff like that? There are actual entities that want to physically attack it and destroy it.
Well, I think that most of the Arab world probably wants to destroy England pretty much the same as they want to destroy Israel. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's like we're not really under threat from imminent invasion, but countries that could actually tomorrow be in our country.
Yeah, not by direct army, but you have millions. But you have millions.
Yeah.
You have an army. You have an army out of uniform, sitting in your hotel.
I'm just curious because I've heard people talking about Zionism, and lots of people have different definitions of it. And it, is Dino Bain still here? Or has he collapsed because he's
I'm still here. I'm being philosophical and contemplative.
Yeah. So what's your take on it then, Dino Bain? What do you think about that?
What, Israel?
Yeah.
As a state?
Yeah.
Just a small take. Just a small take. Well, they've already got their state, right? So there's no need for Zionism anymore, and there's no need for this weird bullshit that they keep pushing in all the other countries around the world. And there's no need for them to keep destroying other countries through subversion. There's no need for any of the garbage that they do. You know, if you want to be a nice country and have your own country and just exist like what everyone claims, then just go do that. I don't think the Western world really cares about Israel or Zionism or anything to do with this. We just want our own countries and we want to exist. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's the whole problem. That this thing about Israel trying to destroy Western countries. I mean, that's bullshit. Why? I mean, Israel, as if Israel doesn't have enough problems with the Arab and Muslim world as it is. What Israel's going to try to?
I'm not blaming Israel.
Try to hang on. What do you think Israel's going to try to flood?
No.
To turn Europe and the West into the same Islamic shitholes that they're surrounded by. I mean, as
Netanyahu literally said, let's send all the Palestinians to Europe. So whatever you're about to say,
look.
He literally said that.
It's not as simple as that,
right?
Europe,
it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. I just want listen. We just want our own countries to exist without a bunch of people coming into our countries that hate us and want to destroy us. That's all we want.
Why do you think that the Arab countries won't take the Palestinians?
Because those are not good people.
Exactly. And
but we don't want them either.
And Israel has been trying to get the Arab countries to take the Palestinians for decades, and they refuse. Why?
Sure,
because the Palestinians are weapons.
Yeah, sure.
Israel.
But you glossed over this. The fact that Netanyahu literally said that he wants to send.
No, because he didn't literally say that. You're taking that completely out of context. He's not saying that Europe has.
I have the video.
He's saying that Israel needs to get rid of the Palestinians. That the Palestinians.
I have the video.
Israel, that the Palestinians
I
can't
have
Israel,
the video.
The Palestinians want to destroy Israel.
I don't care what you say about this. I have the video. I have Netanyahu saying it. I have the video. Literally, I've got the video. I don't say literally lightly.
And what context is it?
Okay. Sure. Whatever. I don't know what you're arguing. But what are you arguing against here?
I am arguing against the conspiracy theories that Israel is behind conspiracy the invasion theory of the West.
Netanyahu literally said that he wants to send the Palestinians to Europe. So what are you arguing against?
Yeah, okay, you've said that, but
I didn't say that. Netanyahu said that. What are you talking about?
No.
Listen, I came into this conversation in good faith, right?
Does not make it true.
I'm not saying it. Netanyahu said that. I am not saying that. Netanyahu said that.
In what context did he say it?
That he doesn't believe that the Palestinians can survive in Palestine and we need to send them to Europe because Europe can absorb the Palestinians. That's the context.
So what Steve said. Steve just brought something interesting up.
Okay. Europe is a population of 500 million.
There we go.
500 million. Israel's a population of
let me just read this comment out. Let me just read this comment out because this is what Steve's actually just said. He said, Dino Bain, Netanyahu said that about the shit in Europe who support the Guardians. So I don't know what that actually means, but maybe you two do.
So what he's saying there is he's saying that the people basically he's saying that Ireland and Germany, the people that really supported Palestine, they're the ones that are deserving of the Palestinians.
And so they should basically take them in. If they're so fond of them, they should have them. Which is fair. It's a fair enough statement, that, isn't it, really?
So Europe overwhelmingly supports Palestine. And the Palestinians.
I don't think they do. No, this is what's so disappointing and so distressing. I don't think they do. We're seeing a lot of this gaslighting in the media. The general public do not support terrorists.
Right. Can I just interject it because I think I know what's happening here, right? So basically, the people of the countries, we don't want these people in. Unfortunately, the people and the governments are completely separate. The governments want to unload everybody into the countries. They can. And that's basically what he's saying, because our governments are basically, you know, especially Labour, because they're anti-Semitic as hell, aren't they? They're against Israel. And he's basically said, right, if you support these people, because that's what they're doing. Look at all the Labour MPs that support Gaza and all that kind of stuff. They're saying, if you support them, then you can have them. But in a way, Israel's saying the wrong thing, because they're pushing those people onto the everyday citizens who don't agree with the governments, because we don't. Our governments don't represent us anymore. And I think that's something that Israel doesn't really understand. We don't support the Gazans.
Israel absolutely
understands. It's our rogue
that.
Governments that do.
Israel absolutely understands that we have the same problems in Israel that you have in Europe. It's not necessarily the elected government, but the establishment basically is not representative of the people. Dino, I wanted to say something here. You know that do you know that Israel has a 25% Arab population? And I'm not talking about Palestinians. I'm talking about Israeli Arabs with Israeli passports.
Sure. I do know that. Yeah.
Yeah. So now they are exactly the same people, ethnically speaking, as the Palestinians. The only difference is these people didn't follow Arab orders from the surrounding countries to vacate so that the Arab armies could drive the Jews into the sea. And back in 1948, they remained in Israel, and those are now Israeli citizens.
I don't think there is inbred.
Well, yeah, they're exactly the same. There's no real difference. I mean, you know that Palestinians, non-Israelis, if they marry Arab Israeli, they get Israeli residency and they live inside Israel, etc. You know what I mean? It's no real difference.
I don't give a shit about that. No one cares about that.
Yeah, but you're talking. Yeah, but the point I'm making is that Israel has 2 million plus Israeli Arabs out of a population of 10 million.
What's your point? What's the point you're trying to make?
My point is that Bibi Netanyahu, he doesn't want to push all the Arabs, all the Palestinians into Europe. He is, as was said before, as Vindicator said before, and Steve said before, it's basically a case of, well, if you are so supportive of the Palestinians, why don't you take them? Why does Israel have to put up with this genocide with these people?
I would agree with that if he wasn't on record saying this 10 years ago.
I think he's actually, look, I can't remember every word, Bibi. Yeah, the funny thing is I've never actually voted for Bibi. I'm not a supporter of Bibi. I'm right-wing, but I'm more right-wing than Bibi. Bibi is basically right-wing light. He's equivalent of American
I have a good
Rhino.
memory. I have a good memory. So anyway,
Bibi
he's on record.
An American Rhino, a right-wing in name only. He's not actually right-wing.
I really don't care. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to save my country. And I'm sure that you want to save your country too, right? And that's where we can agree. I want to save my country. You want to save your country. I don't want these Palestinian people coming to anywhere near my territory. But unfortunately, we're run by a Labour government that actually wants them. They do want them.
I absolutely agree with you on that. The last thing you need is a couple of million genocidal jihadis.
I'll let into a little secret, right? I think we've already got them in this country, and that's why they're keeping all these immigrant hotels secret, because they don't want people to know who's actually in them.
Yep. Absolutely agreed, Vin. Yep. You have a shitload of Palestinians already in the UK that came across.
It's because we haven't got a government with a backbone that will stick a couple of battleships in the English Channel and just turn them around like Australia did. Once Australia started turning around the boats, they stopped coming because they said, if you come any further, we're just going to blow you out of the water.
Vindicator, they're not coming. Wait, Enoch, can I just say something? They're not coming on small boats. That's a smokescreen. They're coming on ferries.
I know they're coming in flights as well. I've heard this as well. They're coming on flights. They're flying them in.
Okay, however they're getting in. Trump has the best plan. Trump has the best plan at the moment. Gaza was Egyptian before 1950. It was Egyptian before it was Israeli. There are Egyptians. Even the leadership of Hamas. I have a direct quote of one of the ministers of Hamas in 2012, saying Palestinians, the Gazans, Palestinians are Egyptians and Saudis. 50% of Palestinians, 50% of Saudis. His name, like half of the families in Gaza are called Al-Masri. Al-Masri means Egyptian in Arabic. So what Trump is trying to do now, he's trying to coerce Egypt into taking the Arabs from Gaza back into Egypt, which is the actual home.
Enoch, look, I'm sorry, but you've got to understand, from an English perspective, we just don't fucking care.
Yeah, but you don't even live in England anymore.
Is that by choice, do you think?
Look,
so you can say that you can throw that at me as a slur, but I see that as a detriment to my own country. I want to live in England. I'm not living outside of England by choice. So don't throw that at me like a slur.
I'm the same with South Africa. I'm the same with South Africa. I can't live in South Africa anymore. Why? Because I'm Jewish.
No. Shit. Are you kidding me? Because you're Jewish, is that why?
Yeah.
No, it's because do you have white skin? Do you have white skin?
Yeah, but I'm Jewish.
Well, that's probably why. It's not because you're Jewish. It's because you look white.
No, it's because I'm Jewish. Jews are being targeted specifically in South Africa right now because they're Jewish.
If Jews stop saying that Jews are targeted, then Jews
I'll be honest with you, not right as well. From what I've heard about South Africa, that the Christians are being targeted as well. I think, communists tend not to like religious people.
No, Vin. About 3/4 of South Africa is Christian.
Yeah.
3/4, over 75 to 80% of South Africa is Christian. They are the majority in South Africa.
Vindicator.
Yeah.
Would you like to direct the conversation?
Yeah. I think you two have you finished having your little beef?
I never had a beef. I just again, like, I don't want to go down that road.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's talk about the Reform Party. Let's get back onto track what this is about. I just wanted to let Enoch in and just have his say. That's all. That's all I wanted to do.
Enoch, you're welcome. You're welcome to the conversation. I don't want to like disparage you from any conversation. Say what you want to say. I don't really care about any kind of global politics right now. I've got such a big problem in my own country. That's the only thing I want to focus on.
Where are you actually living at the moment?
I'm not telling you that for safety reasons.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, you did say it's Saturday. So
that is a weird fucking thing to say. What you doing?
No, you said earlier at the start when you came in, you said it's Saturday already. So,
all right, let's talk about the Reform Party, shall we? Get back to that. So, what I know have you been looking into the situation about what's been happening with the Reform Party and stuff like that?
Yeah, I actually did want to ask. What happened to, what was the guy's name? The guy who starred in that in the movie
that came out as gobbledygook.
Oh, the guy who starred in the movie, the American movie about the child trafficking, who founded the Reform Party. What was his name again? The actor.
I can't remember. We asked this question the other day and I couldn't remember. I didn't even have a look and see who his name was, to be honest with you.
God, what was his name? Oh God, I wanted to ask what happened to him. How come? Why did he step out? Why did he leave the party that he founded?
I think we know the answer to that one. I think Nigel Farage is just a dictator in the party, isn't he? And I wanted to. There was a comment earlier. I don't know if I want to make it again, but somebody was actually saying that Nigel Farage isn't the cause of the bust-up between Rupert Lowe. Yes, he is. Nigel Farage is a snake in the grass. He'll make Zai Yusuf and Lee Anderson do all the dirty work, so he has no mud on him. That's how Nigel Farage operates.
I absolutely agree with you on that. He's an agent of division. Yeah. Jim Caviezel.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Eddie Cool. Thank you very much. He's a good friend. Eddie Cool. Thank you very much, dude. I agree.
Yeah, Jim Caviezel is the actor. Is the guy who founded No, sorry, Jim Caviezel made the movie. But he's not the actor who founded the Reform. Who was in the movie.
Yeah. So, what's your take on the whole Reform situation at the minute? I think myself and Dino Bain, I think we both saw this coming from a long time ago. That Rupert Lowe and Nigel Farage, they were just going to clash at some point. It was always going to happen. That they've both got very strong personalities, and I think I said this earlier in the live stream. Ben Habib was trying to do the exact same thing that Rupert Lowe was trying to do. They were trying to professionalise the Reform Party and get it on track so it was ready for the general election and the May elections. And it looks like Richard Tice and Nigel Farage are just in it for the money, and it's just the smoke and mirrors. And it's just, to them, it's just, oh yeah, we got to be MPs in Parliament, and that's all they care about.
Yeah, what I've looked. I mean, I remember back when Farage was UKIP, and then Brexit, and yeah, Brexit was about the only good thing he actually did, as far as I'm concerned. The problem with British politics is that every party that comes along, instead of all the new parties that come along, instead of trying to shift the Overton window towards back towards the middle of the road, where it should be, they prefer to move the new party into the current Overton window.
Yeah,
they're alienating most of the actual base, and this is what happened with UKIP, with Brexit, and now with Reform.
Hang on, yeah.
Where is the middle of the road now? Can you define that, please? Where is the middle of the road? No, literally. Can you define that now?
From me, my opinion of it is it's probably firmly on the far left.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as I said earlier, classical liberals are now considered far right by the majority of the left.
And anybody to the right of Stalin is now considered far right, aren't they?
Basically,
yeah. So where do you consider it is, Dino?
No, I agree. There is no middle anymore. Nigel Farage is trying to grapple this, but he doesn't realize that he's completely lost in his argument. He's completely lost. He doesn't understand how far things have changed in his short time in not just being like a politician, but being elected to the Reform leader. Politics itself has shifted from just the last election. It's so far moved to the right.
Did you see how much he flopped about on Ukraine lately? First off, he was saying about Ukraine, it's it was NATO encroaching on it that forced Putin into the war. Then all of a sudden, oh no, that's not the case. Putin's the worst person on the planet. It had nothing to do with that. And then the other day he was saying, oh, Ukraine's the most corrupt country in the world, but he wants it to join NATO. He's just flip-flops all over the place.
You guys nailed it. You said that these guys are just interested in money, and I do think that's probably true. But it's also they're interested in their reputation. They want to be remembered. And this is what I don't get about politicians, and I don't get about these people that really stand themselves out in public life. They want to be remembered in some way. I've never understood this. I don't want to be remembered. I want to have a quiet life and just drift off into the fucking distance. I don't want to be rich. I want to earn enough money to survive, and that's it. These are completely different people from us.
They are. I mean,
they're completely different animals. They're not the same as us.
I think
we can't empathize with them because they're so different.
A lot of people have got this misty-eyed view of politicians, like they go into service to serve the people. And they think it's still like what was like in the 1940s during the war, that they were there to service and that kind of stuff. And it's just not the case. These people are self-serving, and maybe they've always been that way. Maybe they've always been a bit self-serving. They definitely don't, nowadays, they don't give a shit about the people of this country at all. They don't care about us, but we're irrelevant. We're just something to be brought out every 5 years when they need us to vote for them. They lie to our face, and people still keep falling for the same old lies, time after time after time, and nothing ever
Angela
changed.
Rayner. Angela Rayner is a working class mong. She's a fucking idiot, right? She's the dumbest person in politics, and yet now, from leaving school, pregnant when she was fucking 15, no GCSEs, nothing. She's now the deputy leader of what, the UK, and she's a millionaire. How the fuck did that happen? Well, it's because she's corrupt. She only cares about money. She only cares about herself and her family and whatever it takes, even if it means going into a room full of fucking Muslims and swearing allegiance to them. It's a scumbag.
Don't you think, like, there should be some kind? There should be some kind of qualification to be a politician. That there should be some kind of limited limit to IQ. That you've got to have a certain IQ to go into government. I mean, we don't allow just people to be surgeons or people to be rocket scientists or people to be nuclear physicists. And these jobs that they go into are just as important as those jobs, if not more important. You're governing the country.
I'm glad you cut me off there. That was I was going on to a rant, but
yeah, go on, mate. I'm sorry.
No. I'm really glad you cut me off. Actually, I don't want to do that. It makes me seem stupid.
I think a lot of us. I think we can all agree on this. I absolutely despise the Labour Party. I absolutely despise our political class. I do. I can't stand them. They're just.
It feels really good when you swear. It feels good to just vent all your nasty, toxic,
doesn't it?
in a turmoil. It really does, but it's not really good. It makes you. I agree with people. It does make you seem a little bit stupid, but I don't know. I'm conflicted because it's working class. I am what I am, right?
Yeah.
So it's a weird conflict that I have, and again, we spoke to this earlier. How honest can you be? How sincere can you be? Obviously, on YouTube, you've got a limit. But when it comes to rants like this, I'm really glad you cut me off at that specific point.
I think we all need to vent every now and again. But we need rants sometimes just to vent out all our frustration. Because I think everybody is frustrated at the minute because nothing's happening. We all thought that reform was going to be this really great force for good, and they're not. They're not at all. Like I said before, they're controlled opposition. It's obvious to me that they're controlled opposition. I think Rupert Lowe and Ben Habib went in with the best intentions and found out the hard way that now they're not. Look at. Did you watch that video the day of when Keir Starmer was talking about Ukraine and Nigel Farage was there nodding like a nodding dog at everything he was saying? I
didn't know.
And it's like, what is going on? It's Parliament's
you can show videos on this video right now, right? If you can work it out, you can drag it.
Can't handle it, mate. Trust me, I've got it really can't. Okay. It's got this thing's about 6 years old. It's the basic laptop that I've got. I'm getting a streaming.
I'll be honest.
Next week. So
Vindicator. This is the reason why people keep. I have this a lot, right? People keep saying to me, "You're like a shill," or what do they call me? They call me like a what do you call people when they're like part of the state or something?
Grifter.
Like not deep state. Like, no, not a grifter. They're after money. Like you're like controlled opposition, right? They call me controlled opposition and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Because and when I confront them on this, they say, "Well, your production quality is too good." I'm like, dude, I've got a background in brand design, graphic design, and I was an artist when I was young, and I've been working at this for 20 years. Everything that I've done through my entire life has led to this point. And now I'm doing like 6 or 7 professional people's jobs all in the same time.
See, I get the opposite.
Like,
I get the opposite. I get the opposite. I get the opposite. People saying your camera quality is shit, your audio's crap. And it's like, well, then if I started having adverts on my videos, I would be a shill. And it's
I'd love to get adverts.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't have it both ways.
No, I would genuinely love to get adverts, but there's no chance of it. I mean, I think I had one. Okay, here's the story. I did have one person say that they want to advertise on my channel, and they booked a time. It was like ridiculously early in the morning, and I stayed up the whole night just so I could get there, and they didn't turn up. So I sent them an email going, "Go fuck yourselves, you fucking wankers. How dare you not turn up to the interview?" And then they made me feel guilty by saying, "I'm sorry, we can't work with people that speak like this." I was like, Jesus Christ.
It's just too blunt for some people. I think I would never get monetized. There's no chance in hell I will ever get monetized. I wouldn't want to be, because the hoops you have to jump through to be monetized. It's just you have to become like Andre Walker. You have to self-censor everything, and I don't think I could be like that. Definitely not.
It's the reason I can't be a politician.
Just off going back to where we were before. I was talking about Lawrence Fox and reclaim UK, not reform.
Can I just jump in 1 second? Harry Flashman in the comments just wants to say something. I really enjoy the people that comment on these videos because they're the most important ones. If he can,
does he? I think he's been in before, Harry. I think we had Harry in before. Do you want to come in, mate, and have a conversation?
Harry was in last week.
Yeah. I'll drop the link, and you can come in and have a word. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
It was Lawrence Fox. Lawrence Fox I was talking about with reclaim UK, not reform.
Yeah, sure. Reclaim. Yeah. That didn't last long. I'll be honest, mate. Lawrence Fox is a bit hit and miss with me. I'm not sure what his agenda is there.
Yeah, agreed.
He's self-destructive, Lawrence Fox. He could be a really good person, but he tends to destroy. He goes on a self-destructive bender every now and again. And it's like when he was at that United Kingdom rally where he said he wouldn't go on stage with certain people, and it was like, you're only shooting yourself in the foot, mate. You really are. Yeah,
but I do that. Every now and again, I'm like,
mate, I did it over the last couple of days with Paul Thorpe. And it was like, but
no, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, fuck off. No, you didn't. You just said what you wanted to say, and that's fine. That's completely fine. No, you didn't do anything wrong there. You had an opinion, and that's it. If Paul, listen, right? Fuck Paul. If he comes to you and says, "Oh, you can't say that," or "I didn't mean that," who cares? That's your opinion. Yeah. I actually, do you know when you pulled me up and you were like, "You shouldn't delete your videos," and I was like, "Yeah, that's fair. That's fair." You shouldn't like apologize to someone coming to you and saying, I didn't mean that. Well, how about you just don't fucking sound like you meant it?
To be honest with you, I'll be honest. I wasn't really apologizing to Paul. I was apologizing for my overreact. I did overreact. I admit that. I overreacted. I still said that I still believe that people need to be involved and they don't feel involved. And I think it's not necessarily their fault that they're that big. They don't read the comments, but I read his comments, and loads of people in this comments saying, we don't feel like we're involved. We can't get down to London, but they feel like they're not being heard. And, you know, I get their frustration. And sometimes, no offense to them, I've said this before, there's a few, what people that call themselves right-wing commentators that really irritate me. They really irritate me with some of the things they say. You
know what? I'm sick of this.
They're too soft.
Vindicator, no offense, but I'm sick of this right-wing, left-wing bullshit. I don't think it is this anymore. It's good versus bad. It's evil versus good.
Yeah.
It is like the good people who want the best for humanity versus the bad people that want awful, awful shit. And I don't see it any other way. I don't believe in left-right anymore. I genuinely think there's people out to harm this country, and I think there's people that want to save it, and that's my boundary. That's my limit. That's my separation.
Dino, do you want to know how I view the whole political spectrum at this stage? It's authoritarianism versus basically freedom.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah. It's either big government or minimal government. And
I mean, the thing is,
the left I don't want to. Big government.
I don't want to use over conflating or confusing words. I think what people really understand is good versus evil.
Is he in? I think he's in. I'll just bring Harry in. He's just saying I'm in, so we're okay. He's in.
All right, good.
Hello.
Hey, Harry.
Hi, hello.
Harry,
Hello, guys.
I can't hear you, Harry.
Hang on 1 sec. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
No,
hear
I
you,
can't
mate.
hear you.
Can't you hear
I
him?
can't hear you.
I hear
No,
you,
I can't
Harry.
hear you. I'm joking. Of course, I can hear him.
I was just saying in the chat that the Dino's right. It isn't even about ideology at this point. It's just about like being civilized, you know, or you know, like I don't like the term, but like good and evil, but just like get along with people. Like,
Harry,
yeah. Sorry.
what do you call letting rape gangs fester for 30 years?
Yeah, that is evil.
Evil. Yeah.
It's evil.
I agree. I think the cover up and stuff. I mean, it's obvious what's been going on. I mean, they refuse to have an inquiry, which is pointless in my opinion. They should be acting on the information they've already got. People should be in prison right now. They know who they are. They should have been arrested. All the police that were complicit in all of this should be in prison. All the politicians that were complicit in this should be in prison. All the judges that were in this should be in prison. They know who they are. They just refuse to act. And like Dino was saying, to me, that is just pure evil. Look at what happened to these girls, and they refused to act on it. Look at what Gordon Brown did. He told the police, do not investigate. And from what I can tell, Keir Starmer was involved in that as well. And what's been done to those girls around this country, if we were the race that we used to be, we should have been on the streets instantly about that, in my opinion.
Oh, don't get me wrong. When the English begin to hate, they will hate.
Oh, yeah. There's only so far. I disagree with Maya Tusi, because he said the other day the English aren't revolutionary. Well, I think push as hard enough, mate, and find out.
We are.
Push as
Yeah,
hard
We
enough
are
and find out.
revolutionary.
Yeah, push as
Yeah.
hard enough and find out. We're not revolutionary, but we fought civil wars before. We will stand up for our own kind eventually, and we're on a hair trigger at the minute in this country, and a lot of people don't see that. We really are. It would only take one. I would suggest that if anything happened to Tommy Robinson in prison, that would be game over. It would be, the whole thing would just ignite. And yeah, I mean, we've got government advisors saying that, yeah, we're going to have a civil war in the next 5 years. We've never had that before, ever. It's like, these aren't conspiracy theories. These aren't nutters saying this. These are government advisors. These are professors saying this now, that the conditions are right in this country for a civil war. And who knows what is going to set it off. That
It's very British, don't you think? It's British that we've waited this long for a government advisor to actually say it, because people are, well, in a way, mentally we are prepared for that. I'm ready to give up London as our capital. We don't need London. London has become something for us to be ashamed of.
I think you said the other day, I wouldn't be bothered if Putin nuked London. It's like you'd be doing us a favour.
No.
At this point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bring it on.
Hang on, Enoch's been, he kicked himself out.
You're not waiting for me to, you're not waiting for me to jump in, are you?
Yeah. What do you think about that, Dino? Do you agree with this, right? That it's not going to happen because Reform have actually just imploded, haven't they? But I was hoping they were going to implement some kind of thing where the whole country voted for the mayor of London and not just London. Because with Sadiq Khan in charge, it has just become an absolute third world shithole. It was started on that way by Boris Johnson because he was just as bad. And we need to vote. The mayor of London represents the whole of the country as well as the government, as far as I'm concerned, because the minute he starts talking politically and globally, then that should be an immediate vote for the whole country. We should choose who's the mayor of London in that respect.
Sadiq Khan is just waiting for the right moment in which he can relinquish the mayorship and then run for the PM. As soon as he's got the block vote that he needs, that's it. It's game over.
God, can you imagine him as prime minister? Oh my God.
He will. That's what he's aiming for. That's the goal. That's what he's waiting for. He will remain London MP or London mayor until he can run for the prime ministerial fucking position. That's it.
And obviously we've got. I know I'm going off topic a little bit here, but yeah, apparently people are starting to think that the king has converted to Islam, and it wasn't recent. It's been a long time. And who's going to dispute that? The guy's an absolute
maybe he might be in the lineage of you know how it's the incest thing, isn't it? These royalty.
I'll say this before you start. Right, this is my stance on the monarchy. It should have died with the Queen. We should have just got rid of it after the Queen, because the royal family we've got now, pardon my French, is an absolute shower of shit. We've got Meghan Markle and whatever his name is. I can't even remember his name. Husband. We've got Prince William and the other one. They're all World Economic Forum stooges, the whole lot of them, and they're just a drain on our country at this point now.
Yeah, quite frankly, your royal family is an embarrassment. Yeah, absolute embarrassment.
Can I give me like 30 seconds, please? Right, stop being emotional about it. Right, just like get rid of all of do the emotion somewhere else instead of social media. Right, the maybe right. This is something that I've been reading about recently. Right, is that the royal lineage? Yeah. I go to get away from the politics. I go to Christian and religious channels a lot on social media. I like listening to what's his name, the Turkish guy who's a Muslim apostate prophet. Yeah, David Wood, the evangelical Christians in America, Bob Speaker's Corner. There's a lot of religion. Religion has got its place in humanity. It really has. It's very important, actually. Religion is a very important thing, and in politics, that's also a very important thing. What I've been learning about recently is the lineage of Islam. I listened to something yesterday about religion, and it was saying about how Islam is anti-racist, right? And it's against racism, which is what they always try. They love to tell you this, but there are actual texts and hadiths in the Islamic religion that explicitly say Arabs are more important in society and in humanity than non-Arabs. So,
well,
racism does exist.
If you look at the actual text, they call us infidels. They think of us as less than the cattle. That's how they think about us, because we're not holy. We are unclean.
And guys, what do they use to infiltrate into the West? They use a certain system, and it's called what?
Sharia.
Sharia.
Yeah.
Taqiyya.
Taqiyya is just one of the four. Taqiyya is just one of the four forms.
The people, right? I'm going to explain it right. The people who don't know that basically says that it's okay for them to lie to infidels about things, isn't it?
What's way worse than that? Sure, yeah. That's one thing. Yeah.
They can lie to. They can lie to further the path of Islam, basically.
There are four forms of Islamic deceit. It's
talk.
Sharia, and Muruna.
Islam is absolutely
Harry,
degenerate. Yeah.
Harry, just 1 second. Can you let Enoch explain each one of those four forms
of
infiltration?
I can't remember offhand. Exactly.
I can explain it.
Okay, go for it.
I can explain it.
Yeah.
You just need to look at the classical. What Islam does is they point you towards their Quran and their what they call Dawa, which is their evangelical Islamic stuff, right? What all non-Muslims globally need to do, right, is understand the law of their religion. It's called fiqh, FIQH. It's usually spelled as the sacred law of Islam. Are found not in the Quran or in the hadiths that the evangelical Muslims talk about. They're in the books of fiqh. So there's two books that I would recommend, and most of the Christians that I deal with on social media, they understand this and they know all about this, right? So there's a book in English, it's been translated into English, called Reliance of the Traveller. There's another book. Please, like, write it down, make a note of it, and just look. You don't have to read the whole book. Just look the book up on Google, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. The other book is called The Unsheathed Sword. So they describe Sharia law in a Muslim context rather than how Muslims try to describe the religion of peace. You know, they'd always, we're here to save humanity and all the rest of it. It's not. It's Nazism. It's basically like the most extreme far right agenda that you could ever. It's Nazism for Arabs, basically.
I'd actually call that far left, not far right.
Well, yeah.
Basically, Nazism or communism.
I don't think it matters, guys. I don't think it matters.
The right, like Banner Bain's been saying, the right or left, it doesn't really matter anymore. It's like it's between good and evil now, isn't it? It's an evil ideology.
I agree.
So it's just
It's
an evil ideology.
Authoritarianism.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I've seen it up close in its natural habitat, Islam, and it is not a religion of peace by any means of the stretch of the imagination. These people are barbaric. And what I noticed, and I've said this in the live stream as well, what I noticed about them when I was over there was they're as nice as pie to your face. You can be talking about any other topic, but the minute you start to question their beliefs, a switch is flicked inside their head and they become violent. They become hostile instantly when you start to question their beliefs. And that's indicative of every Muslim that I've ever encountered. That.
My first kind of red pill regarding Islam was when back in, what was it, 1980,
Guys, Enoch, I'm sorry. Enoch, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think we're getting off topic here. Like, this isn't a debate about Islam. I don't really give a fuck about their shitty. I don't give a fuck about their shitty religion. This is about the UK and how we're going to solve our problems. They're just part of the problem, but they're not the biggest thing that we've got to deal with. They're literally a big part, but they're not the biggest part.
Let's look at Islam for what it is. Islam is the devising factor that people are using to divide the country up. That's what they're using it for. It's a tool, it's a weapon to be used against the native people of this country. That's what they're using it for. Yeah. That's why they're flooding people in that are Muslim, that are hostile towards us. It's to destabilize society. IQ. Yeah, just basically destabilize our society. That's what they want to do. It's a weapon. That's the way you've got to look at it as.
And there we go, right? So now we don't need to debate the fucking intricacies of Islam. Now we could just move on to something else.
Yeah, exactly. How do we save the country? Well, I always thought
the long march from Scotland to London throughout the spine of the UK. That's what I will fucking love that. Yeah, that'll be awesome.
And I don't think there was anything wrong with my suggestion saying that every town and village should be protesting. They should be organising their own protests. Yes, they need to be organised. But people, on the other hand, people can't just rely on everybody else to do it for them. They've got to get up off their own arses and think we need to save this country.
That's right.
And
that's right.
Start doing things themselves as well.
Again,
the thing is, right? From what I've seen, everybody's waiting around for this mystical, magical leader to appear from nowhere and save everybody. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen unless we do it ourselves. That's the one thing that I'm sure about.
What you need
100%.
system.
I know, Vindicator. When you were taught in school, you were taught the Great North March, right?
Yeah.
Is that you were taught about that, right? And it's never been seen since. I think we should have a giant march from Scotland all the way down through the spine of the UK, populating the motorways, congesting everything, and it's just a march of people like a fucking artery. No, what's that thing called? In an artery that stops the blood. It's a
Clot.
a fucking clot. Yeah, a giant
a heart attack.
Marching through, attack. Yeah, and the heart is London, right? So we march that clot all the way down through the arteries of the motorways and everything, the M roads, and we end up in the heart of London, and that's where we end up. But there's no way that the news would not be able to cover that. There's no way that would not be front page news around the fucking world. Millions of people walking down the UK. And obviously people can't go the whole way, so they'll be able to pop in, pop out. People would set up camps. People would set up the tents.
You could set it up like a relay. You could set it up like a relay.
It'd be amazing, yeah.
I agree.
Guys,
it's a brilliant idea.
Guys, can I suggest something? Right, we need a national myth, right? Because people have said we're bringing all these immigrants into our country and expecting them to assimilate. I think Bob Speaker's Corner, the prolific, he's fucking fantastic, man. I love that guy. He's a Christian guy who goes to Speaker's Corner every week in London.
Yeah, I watch him. Yeah,
I've seen him.
Good.
Yeah, but they don't expect they don't expect
we're
them to
not
assimilate.
offering. No, he's saying that the country are complaining. What the problem? What we need to do, Dino, Vin, Enoch as well, and everyone who's listening, we are also responsible, right? It's not like, oh, we have to just blame all of these people who are coming into and blame the government and sit on our hands. We're not offering them anything else. We have to do our bit individually, and I'm not criticizing you. You're doing it. Dino, you're doing it. Vin, you're doing it. Enoch, you're not even living in our country, and you're helping as well. But away from social media, what we all have to do is help each other and gather together.
Okay, Harry, I think I know where you're going. I think I know where you're going. But it's just like a platitude. It sounds nice, but I mean, it doesn't resolve anything. At the end of the day, we've got a job to do by educating people on what the problem is and how to solve it, and at least give people ideas and solutions and where to go and what to do. I think coming up with platitudes, it's not really going to help people. You've got to actually come up with real term solutions, because a lot of people just need to be told something. Unfortunately, we've learned that from living in this country.
I've got a solution. I've got a solution, right? So I recently approached my local council, and I've become it's called a street champion, right? We pick up litter in Kent, where I live, right? I moved from London recently, last year, to Kent, and we pick up litter in the street. So what the people need to do is get away. I'm not saying we shouldn't watch social media, but we need to get away from social media, where Keir Starmer wants to arrest us all and all the rest of it, and clean up our streets.
I know you're getting that. You mean like go back analog and arrange things like we used to arrange things, like go to pubs and stuff like that, and that's where you have your meetings to arrange things.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you're not online, they can't do anything about it, because we all know that they're watching.
Exactly.
They've got dedicated units watching people online.
I don't know what this Vindicator. What is this conversation? What is going on right now? This isn't.
It's supposed to be about the Reform Party implodes, was the title of the thing, but it happens. We're having like a general conversation about everything, aren't we? I think people just venting what they're frustrated about at the minute. So what do you want to talk about, Dino Bain? Let's talk about what you want to talk about. What things you want to discuss?
No, I've listened to these kinds of conversations on X. Do you know that they have those spaces, and it's just people just talking shit about shit and just venting stuff, but never really actually talking about anything that matters. I don't want to get into that right now. If you guys want to like go into a struggle session and talk about shit that just doesn't actually go anywhere, fine, that's fine. If you look at my videos, I never ever do this. They're always pointed. They're always actually talking about something. And I'm not saying that we need to do this now. If you want to do this, like if you want to talk about the vagaries of Islam or the vagaries of social media, sure, do it. I just don't see the point.
Yeah,
Like,
I get.
Am I alone here?
Coming from.
No,
Yeah.
you're not alone. Dino, honestly, mate, I agree with everything that you just said, right? But you're not living in England. You're not here.
Okay.
Right?
Do you know why? Because I'd be arrested by now and I wouldn't be able to do the content I'm doing.
Right. So I'm here, right? So I don't want to get myself arrested. But
okay,
what I'm doing is listen. I'm listening. I'm listening to you, and my message to everybody is use social media, right, for motivation and gathering intelligence. Like understand, learn things. But on a community level, if you are here and you don't want to get arrested, then my idea is build communities away from social media and talk about the. It means that I talk to my neighbour.
What do you mean? What do you mean by
What's that? What's that guy that you promoted? A guy, the fellowship guy.
Yeah. Okay. And what did he promote?
He promoted that English people should talk to two strangers every day.
No, that doesn't mean
away
anything.
From social media.
No, that doesn't
he
mean
said,
anything. Right. If you really want to do something, right? Okay. Right. Everyone, right, listening right now. If you actually want to do something straight away, if you want to do something right now, Harry, what are you talking about?
That's not a good message
Harry,
on social media.
What are you talking about? Who said anything about violence? What the fuck is this? Right. If you want to do something, everyone listening right now, if you really want to make a difference, walk your children to school. Make sure that you are at least outside. If you've got the time, make sure that someone can watch your school and make sure that there's no one outside creeping on them. Immediately, that will make a small difference. That's a small thing, immediate small thing that you can do. There we go.
I was actually doing that. You know what? I was actually doing that. And you know what happened when I started doing that? I nearly got arrested because
you got flagged.
Yeah,
you got flagged. Yeah, because you need women. You need women with you.
Yeah.
You can't do it if you're a guy. All right. So you need women with you, making sure you've got cameras, phones, whatever, taking pictures. You are the ones that need to govern your own social societies, your own little communities. Without that you're relying on foreigners to be the policeman, to be the fucking lollipop ladies, like some guy from Pakistan. Jesus Christ.
I'll be honest with you.
We're all on the same side, guys.
I know.
We're all on the same side.
I get pissed off with this posture.
I know where Dino Bane's coming from, right? You want action. We need action. And it's like, we've got to take risks. We really have got to take risks. It's not about picking litter up or anything like that. I've got some action. I don't want to like talk about it on here, but I have got action planned. I'm going to start doing what I used to do. It's like, I know there are migrant hotels that are in secret around in my local area, and I'm going to expose them. And they need to be exposed because people need to know what's in their community. We need to know what's around us. And so I'm going to be going back and doing that. I've got arranged up where I'm going to be taking on counter protesting, stand up to racism, because they need to be seen that people stand against them at every opportunity, because it's not happening.
Everyone's got a Vindicator. Everyone's got a printer in their home these days, right? So you take a picture of like a weird little creepy Muslim guy outside your school, and you take a picture of his face, you print it out, and you put it on all the lampposts and the post the post boxes everywhere that you in your local area, and you make everyone aware that there's a little creeper that's looking at your fucking kids. Like, there's small things that you can do that can make a big difference. And Harry, you're saying that I'm not living in the UK, but you have no idea the sacrifice I've made to actually live outside the UK. Like, I've made a huge sacrifice to be here. I can't even go back to my country now. So whatever you're saying about that bullshit is completely wrong. I would love to go back to the UK. I can't see my family right now. I can't see my sister's newborn fucking kid. There's nothing I can do to go back right now. I don't accept that premise.
You know what? I can understand where Dino Bain's coming from, and I know his frustration. He's frustrated because he sees the people of his country are taking no action at all. They're not doing anything. They're just, and I've got the same complaints. They got, this is my complaint the other day, that about people going on marches down to London and with nobody being there. It's not doing anything. Writing to your MP isn't going to do anything because they don't care. Petitions don't do anything because people don't care. You know, and it's frustrating because the only alternative, and I can't really say it on it because we all know what it is, and it's coming, is probably going to be removing the government by force eventually. And I'm not advocating for that. I don't want that to happen, but it's where we're heading. It's where we're heading. That's where we're heading.
100% Dino. Vindicator, I understand that. Right? Dino, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but like the whole country doesn't revolve around you and your,
oh my god, fucking kidding me?
Your whims.
Is that what you got from what I just said?
Just hang on. Can I butt in here a second? Dino, don't take it the wrong way. I'm just asking this. I'm just asking this.
What we need to do in this country is encourage people who are not on the same level as us, right? We are a majority now. We haven't got 20 years to wait to discuss on the internet about how someone who doesn't live in this country is patriotic or not, or one other person, right? Or Russia, or the global politics of the world. What we need to do is build our communities now, right now.
Harry, you're literally just parroting what I just said. I don't know what's going on right now. What is going on?
You don't even live here.
There we go. Again. Vindicate. What is this?
I'm not against you, mate. I'm your friend, right? Whether you reject it or not,
right?
I am your friend. But I'm sorry to say,
Harry, let me speak, right? Let me just confirm a few things, right? Because I think Dano's been a little bit unfair. I don't think he realises how much things have actually changed. And Steve just said in this country, it's quite right in what he said, that if you go around and you put stuff on lampposts nowadays, you'll get 3 years in prison. You will.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, remember that there are people.
I'm not saying like
like
walk around
from like a few years ago.
I get what you're saying. But it's just frustration. People don't know what to do. Right? We've got so little freedom in this country now that people just don't know what to do. We've exhausted everything. We've exhausted everything we can possibly do. And the only other option now is civil war. And people don't want that because that means it's going to be brother against brother, sister against sister. Right. People don't understand what war is like. I've been in a war zone. I know what it's like. I know where this is leading. I'm getting angry now because it pisses me off. It really, really pisses me off. Because this is the last... There is no other option.
Stop it.
It's exactly
Stop it.
Just stop it. I'm just going to speak,
Stop
right?
it. Wait. You can't say that. Not yet.
This is where it's going, though. This is where it's going.
But you can't say that right now.
You can say it as well, Dino. No. And Dino, you can say it, and also Vin can say it, and also Enoch can say it. We can all fucking say what we want.
No, you really can't. Right, Vindicator, you were just saying that I don't understand how bad the UK has got right now.
It is. It's really bad.
Wait. I don't think you can say that right now. I don't think you can say that right now. I think that was... I'm just saying this as like a throwaway, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that was a line that you probably shouldn't cross right now at this moment in time.
I'm not advocating for civil
There we
war. That's the
go.
last
There we
thing I
go.
want.
There we go. Thank you. Say that.
That's the last thing I want. Yeah, that's the last thing I want.
Perfect.
I'm not advocating for that at all. All I'm saying is we're on that path. We're definitely on that path, and I don't, because we've exhausted everything. We've gone through all the channels of how we would usually deal with these things, because we would have protests, and the free press would hold power to account, but they're not doing that. We haven't got these mechanisms in place anymore that would do this, that would prevent what's about to happen from happening.
I get that.
I get that. I don't want people to die. I really don't. And it scares me. It really scares me about where we're going. And we're sleepwalking into it.
Before we go down that road, right? Before we go down that conversational road, which is a dead end because we can't really explain everything that we want to explain. Yeah. I will say this. When it comes to being proactive in your environment, what I was trying to say is you've got to be smart about it. Yeah, okay. It was a throwaway comment, right? You've got to go to your school and look after your kids. That's fine, right? I think you can still do that. You take your wife with you or whatever, or your wife goes by herself. Women are protected now. They're a protected class. It's in law, along with Muslims. They're an actual protected class. So she won't be arrested. She won't be taken away. And if she is, then she won't be sent to prison because, again, they are a protected class now, unless it's just a complete disguise for Muslims, which I don't think it is, but we'll see. But you've got to be smart about it. Do it at nighttime. If everyone's got access to a printer, everyone's got access to cameras, they can do whatever they want. They've got a computer. They can literally photograph the nonsense and then post their pictures everywhere. There's things you can do.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not saying do it like this. Yeah. Don't do it in a stupid way.
Right. Sure. If you did that in this country right now, you will be arrested because they say you would be infringing on that. Because they said you would be infringing on that person's rights. You're discriminating against them.
I agree. So you don't do it in an obvious manner. Like, don't do it in the middle of the day. There's people that go around and they chop down the ULEZ cameras, right? They wear the face masks. They do all these things. They wear the glasses.
You're talking about like a peaceful.
It's an insurrection.
A peaceful insurgency. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
There's things you can do. You don't have to be completely compliant. And again, right, everyone, right, fuck it. I'm not going to talk about myself, so fuck that. There's things you can do. I'm doing my thing. You're doing your thing. Everyone's doing their own thing right now on this channel. In the chat, they're doing their own things by watching this content because it's really difficult to watch this content every single day. It's suicidal. It's incredibly difficult. But we're all doing our own thing. But there are things that you can do in physical reality where you can actually go out and actually make a difference and not get arrested. You just got to be a bit smart about it.
And I've got something in the private. I think it's Harry wanting to come back in. Yes, Dino. Our grandparents fought and we will. Dino, thank you. But we need an army, not social medias. Right. We don't need an army because people aren't ready for that yet. They're not ready.
I agree.
They just, people don't understand what war is like unless you've lived it and you've been through it. It's not like it's something you see on the TV, or Call of Duty where you respawn. People die, and you've got to think about the people you're going to be going up against. They're our people you will be going up against, and people have got to get that past. I don't think people will ever get past that barrier. To be honest with you. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say this. Sorry to say this, but most people in the UK have no clue what it is, what war really is. I've been living in a war zone for decades. I've lost count of how many people I've known who've been killed by terrorists and in war, and
Well, Enoch, right?
I'm gonna let Harry back in.
We've known about the farm murders in South Africa for quite a long time now, and yet when these people turn up to the farms, they still get murdered. Even though they know about it, even though they're aware of it, even though they've got guns on the most part. They still get murdered by these people because they actually don't appreciate how violent these people are and how ready they are for violence and how much they hate them as well.
Also because they're ambushed. It's terrorism.
And that's what we're seeing in the UK.
It's what you're seeing in the UK?
Well, you don't think terrorism's in the UK?
Well, at one time, you've got to think about it. We didn't see a knife crime back in the 80s was considered rare in this country. It was front page. It used to be front page news. It was so rare, but now it's an everyday occurrence. We've become desensitized to it because we see it every single day.
I was living in the UK. I was living in St Albans in the mid-90s for a couple of years, and fuck's sake, man, you never heard about them. Actually, when was it? Was it the Manchester bombing? It was one of those big terrorists. Oh, it was the Manchester bombing. Yeah, the Manchester, not the arena. It was the bombing in the center of Manchester. The IRA bombing happened while I was there. The biggest bombing ever in the UK.
At the moment in this country, we are screwed. We are screwed, and that's just a fact. At the minute, we are totally screwed because it's like, what do? Do we just wait for the process to run out and just let everything collapse and then rebuild from the ashes? Because what can we do? What can we do to make a difference?
Your system, the system that you have, and it's the same in Israel, same in most Western countries. The system is the problem. As I said earlier, what happens is when you have a system of government, a system of government, democracy, parliamentary, whatever, when you have a system for too long, those in power learn how to abuse it.
Yeah, this is the thing, though. That's not solving the problem, though, is it? That's not solving the problem. It's like
you need to change your system. You need to change your system, not the government.
How do you do that? You can't use the broken system to change the system.
Exactly the problem we have here in Israel as well.
This is what I was talking about before. The only way that you get rid of the system is by revolution. That's the only way you do it.
Or a referendum.
It's how it happened.
A referendum.
We will never get a referendum on that in this country because
it's the same problem. You need a majority of the parliament.
Enoch, let me speak. Enoch, let me speak. Right. You cannot fix the broken system by using the broken system to fix it because it's already rigged against you.
Agreed.
So how do we change the system?
Agreed. This is the problem. It's the same problem we have in Israel. Is that for a referendum to happen, we need a majority of the parliament. We need a 2/3 majority of parliament to vote in favor, to have a referendum. And
Israel is a very different country from the UK. It's got nothing to do with this situation.
Because they'll all be out of a job.
Israel is the solution to all of the whole world's Islamic problem.
Right. What would you say? Right. We can't use the system to fix the system because it's completely broken. It's rigged against us. We can't use it.
It sounds Vindicator. This sounds like one of those things where it's like the whole world is full of actors and nothing can be done about it. So we just need to ignore everything. It's like, okay, then just fucking let everything happen. Let the house burn down. Everything's fine.
No, we need to work out how to change our systems of government.
Yeah. You're talking platitudes.
We need a solution to change our systems of government.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but right, Enoch, right? How historically have systems changed?
Without violent revolution, without violent revolt?
Yeah.
It's happened rarely.
Exactly.
It's happened very rarely.
So everything leads back to that thing that I can't talk about because Dano correctly pulled me back before.
I agree. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do it.
Because I was going to go too far. But it always leads to that.
Happened. It has been done.
Look at the way, right? Look at the way that we had to change the way from the feudal lord system where we had a monarchy to what we have now where we have a parliament. We had to threaten civil war to get that.
Yep. Yep.
We couldn't. You can't vote your way out of tyranny. You just can't do it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah.
Didn't we do a series of steps before that? We didn't just go straight to civil war.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. No, we actually tried to negotiate, and the king said he would implement it. Then he didn't implement it.
But how did we do that? What did we do as a people?
We got together. We got together, didn't we? The thing is, right? This is actually a solution, right? People don't realize exactly how much power they have, right? Because
in numbers,
exactly. If everybody decided one day not to go to work, this company would just one day.
One person can change everything in power. I agree.
No, not one person. It has to be the entire country. They have to be united. The country can unite. Right. Let me speak. Let me speak. Right. The whole country can unite. Harry, let me speak.
One grain of rice can change the scale, right? One person can change the power of it. One grain of rice.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Harry. I've got to mute you because you're not listening. Right. The only way one person can make a difference is if the entire country unites behind that one person. One person alone can be arrested, taken to prison. Look at Tommy Robinson. He's in solitary confinement right now. He's one person. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And he's in prison. They took care of him.
And it ain't the first time. It's the third time
exactly.
he's been in prison.
Right, I'm going to unmute you, Harry. Just please, when I say I want to say something, just don't try and talk over me, okay? I've been really civil with people. I've let everybody talk. I've not interrupted anything like that. Just be civil to other people as well. Thanks, mate. Right. What have you got to say, Harry?
We have to look at the bigger picture.
What is the bigger picture?
We can't allow Islam to take over Western Europe.
We've discussed Islam, right? We're talking about how we save our country. We're not talking about Europe. We're talking about England and the British Isles. How do we save this country? How do we change the system without violence? How do we do that?
Sorry, Harry, that's kind of unfair. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's a big question.
Yeah, I mean, violence is part of human existence. It's
all right, but let's not go there, okay? Because that's the final thing. That's the one thing that we really don't want to go to, but it's inevitable. But we can't talk about right now.
Yeah.
Hello. I'm with Enoch. The last resort is violence. In the meantime, we need to organize ourselves.
Yeah, don't plan for violence, but don't rule it out, basically.
Maybe plan for violence.
Because the state has no problem with using violence against you.
Right. So let's talk about that, right? God. Because the minute we get violent, we've lost, right? We've lost. We haven't got enough people that will stand up and fight anyway. We've not got enough people that will stand up and fight anyway, and we will be squashed.
Vindicator, you've talked about this previously, right? That's why they're bringing in fighting age men.
Exactly.
All they need is some weapons, and suddenly they're like the Gardaí in Ireland are actively promoting recruitment in Pakistan, of all fucking places, to recruit them into Ireland to police the native people. You think that isn't happening in the UK? Of course it is. It's just we're not as retarded as the Irish. No offense, all the Irish.
Look how it's happening, right? I can let into a little secret, right? Look what's happening within the security industry in this country. It's slowly being taken over by foreign immigrants. And
I agree.
It is. You look at all the migrant camps. Who are they guarded by? It's not native English people. Every single auditing video I've seen, it's foreign people. They're on the gates, security.
Indicator.
Yeah.
John in your chat is a dickhead. He keeps attacking me for no reason.
What's he said? Right. Let's see what he said. Harry, shout hi if you can read this. Dino Bing, you're shacked up with... Yeah, that's disgusting. Sorry, I don't normally do this, but if you get personal, mate, you're gone. Yeah, don't bring spouses into this shit. You get banned. All right? Sorry about that, Dino.
It's all right.
I do have mods, but I don't think I've got any in the chat. That if you see anything like that, mods, if you're in there, just get rid of them, please.
Vin, I think you removed the wrong person. You removed Old Bag instead of John.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, John, sorry, mate, but if you bring in spouse and stuff like that, then you're gone. No, it's not right. So I say sorry now, mate. You've already said it.
No, he's been on my YouTube as well, saying shit.
Is he like a troll? Is he a troll that just pops up every now and again?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
How come he's... Old Bag was banned. Yeah, I'll try and get her back in if I can. How do you get people back in that you've banned?
I have no idea.
That's a wing and a prayer.
I'm sorry that I banned the wrong person, by the way. Sure, there should be like a banned list somewhere, shouldn't there? I'm sorry, I will bring you back in. Didn't mean to do that.
There is, dude. You need to go into the community tab of your YouTube section, and you'll find it somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't do it in this stream because I'll have to do it next time. But I'll definitely reinstate you. But
anyway, guys, I'm a lot of the whiskey into the bottle now, so
yeah.
This is going to deteriorate. Like for me personally, I'm going to be less sensible and more argumentative. So if you want to keep going, I'll be happy to do it. But it's not going to be good.
I'll get one bottle of vodka myself.
Right. So we can all agree, right, that
we're pissed.
That the path, that as well. The path that we're on at the minute, we've exhausted all other options at the minute. And
no, I don't agree with that. Honestly, I don't. Right. I don't. It's just we haven't really been organized and we haven't really understood the problem. I think the English are amazing. Like, look at the things that we brought the world. Everything that you see around you has been an invention of the English. We are amazing at what we do. It's just we've been enslaved into a 9-to-5 job where we have to have our head down constantly. And then we get home, we're stressed out. We've got to pay the bills. We've got to fucking watch Netflix. Our wife's pissed off. We can't have children because we're so fucking stressed out with life. This is not the way it should be.
Yeah.
I don't know how you solve that initial problem, guys. I really don't. But it needs to be at least started with the realization that we are being controlled. We're being controlled.
You're being colonized.
What? Yeah, I know. But I mean, there's pointless saying words like that because it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't matter.
You're being invaded.
Sure. What does that mean if you're still trapped in the system? If you don't even realize that you're trapped in a system? Do you know most people don't even realize that they are a wage slave?
Of course not. No. I was just having this discussion at work with my boss yesterday. I was bringing up to him the whole thing about, every single pound or dollar has been taxed to 1,000% of its value or more.
I'll be honest with you, right? To first fix the problem, people need to be aware of it, and not everybody's aware of it. They're not aware of it. I mean, look at how many people I watch them go past every day. Every weekend they go to the football matches. They come back with their chips and their fish and chips. Not a care in the world. They don't know that society is about to go down the toilet, and their way of life as they know it is about to end. We are literally that close. And
it's all about the virtue signal. It's all about
It's like the Matrix. It's like the Matrix. They're locked into this world, this bubble, where they don't see outside of it.
It's all about the virtue signal, Vin. It's all about the virtue signal to your friends about
it's consumerism. People are told to buy useless crap that they don't need. Like Dino was saying, they eat crap that they don't need, and stuff like that. I mean, it's bread and circuses. It's exactly like bread and circuses. Distract the population with little dangly things in front of them so they can't see what's happening to them.
I agree. Vindicator, can I speak 1 second?
Yeah.
What I think is most disturbing is that the other side, they have none of these distractions. They don't go to football matches. They don't have the bread and circus. They go to the mosques.
Yeah, exactly.
And they talk about
they have the community that we used to have.
Guys, wait. They literally talk about how they will overthrow and enslave this population. Every single week, they go there and they listen to the Islamic prayer. They listen to how their imams are telling them to overthrow the communities, to ingratiate themselves into politics, how to become MPs, how to subvert the legal system. They are being taught how to completely destroy Britain. And while we're just going, like you said, to football matches and eating chips.
But Dino, it's not just them. They wouldn't be able to do it without the. Okay, you don't want to call it the left. You're going to
put words in my mouth?
The allies in Britain, in the Western countries, which are basically what's commonly known as the left these days, progressives, liberal.
Is it though? Are you putting words in my mouth again?
No, I'm saying I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm saying I don't know what you want to call them. I'm saying I don't know what you want to call them. What you want to call the
right.
Evil fucking wankers that want to take over the country.
Let's call them what they are, right? They're not left, they're not right, they're globalists. The globalist elite.
Right? Evil pieces of shit.
Evil piece of shit. Globalist, evil piece of shit. And they've got mechanisms in place where they use the media to brainwash people into being subservient, reality TV, all this crap. You know, the people that don't watch TV are the more switched on. The people that don't watch any TV whatsoever are the most switched on and awake because they're not influenced by it. Because they see reality how it actually is.
I'm the proud owner.
I'll be honest, guys. Wait. Before you, sorry, Enoch. Before you like go ahead. I just want to say, I feel sorry for the chat. Like they are being slapped in the face with all kinds of truth. I'm sorry, guys, but this is reality. This is how it is. This is the real truth. This is our country, and it sucks. So if you are watching this for the first time and you're hearing this for the first time, I'm really sorry about that. We could have introduced this better, but we're amateurs. We're not very good at this.
Yeah,
we're trying to do the best.
We're not broadcasters. We're not newscasters. We're just ordinary people just talking about this. This would be like a conversation down the pub, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Dino, I've been doing these streams, these panels with Vindicator going back to 2020, 2019. When was it?
These people, yeah, but the chat hasn't. That's what I'm talking about. What are you doing? Every time you talk, you fucking... Sorry, I'm trying to calm down. Right? I'm trying to calm down. I'm sure you're a nice guy.
No, I'm an asshole.
You're all right, Harry. You're very quiet. What's up, mate?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, mate.
I hear you loud and clear.
I was trying to type into the text. Read the reliance of the traveller. The reliance of the traveller and the unsheathed sword.
The reliance of the traveller is a well-known Islamic text. Yeah.
Harry, why don't you just like break this down for us and tell us what those books say, like in like a very new, like a very easy to digest manner, so that people can understand it. Instead of just saying read the entire fucking book, how about you just tell us what it says?
It's more important to Just have a look
Read
at
it.
those books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. All right. Everyone, go read the book.
What book are you talking
Reliance
about?
of the Traveller, and
2 books.
I think everybody should go and watch. This was really good. What I watched. You've probably seen it, Dino Bane. The whole interview with Yuri Bezimov, where he explains how the society would be collapsed. And if you look at it blow for blow, that's exactly what's happening right now. This is what the globalist, evilist bastards are using to destabilize our societies.
It's
right
not
now.
just that. Vindicator, have you read the Fabian's manifesto?
I've not, and I've been told by a lot of people to read it.
It's disgustingly real to what's happening right now in the Labour Party, especially because I don't know if you're aware of this, but almost the entire Labour Party are Fabians. Every single one of them. And the Fabian Society has predicted the use of Islam to infiltrate the UK, to enact a communist ideal in which they will destroy the working class and import a bunch of people that they call a different people into the UK, which in this case is Islamists and fucking Muslims and Indians or whatever. Go, like, genuinely, go download that document.
I don't understand what this guy's on about. Right, Vindy, if the police were trustworthy, then they would have arrested the government by now, and we would be under martial law. I don't understand what you're talking about, because we all know that the police can't be trusted. They've been politicized as well. So I don't know what you're
current police force. The current police force was employed for their compliance.
Hang on, let I speak.
Ashley is a guy that's commented on a couple of my videos as well. He seems like a nice guy, like a little bit rash, I think, but I don't think he's unhinged. Can you bring up his comment again, please?
Yeah, I don't understand where he's coming at, because I've been very critical of the police. So it's not like I'm on the side of the police. I don't understand where he's coming from.
Windy, if the police were trustworthy, then they would have arrested the government by now. Yeah, but he's basically saying that the police are full of shit. I don't know why he's bringing that up, but sure, I agree with it. I agree with it. Yeah.
In the text chat, he's talking to someone else in the text.
Oh, he's responding to someone.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay.
I think so.
I thought he was talking about me. See, I thought he's just spelled my name on saying Windy.
No, dude. I think he's probably responding.
Oh, yeah. There's somebody in the chat called Windy. Sorry about that. Yeah, I thought he was talking about me. Sorry.
No, he's a nice guy. He's on point. He's on point most of the time. So I like that guy.
Yeah. There's the police. What use are they? What use are they?
Fuck. Police.
I watched them going around town, and I just think, if it all kicked off, say we had an incident like we had in France, I can't say what sort of incident for obvious reasons, but if we had an incident like that, what would they do? Because it was like a 5'2" woman and somebody who looked like they were trans, and it's like, what the hell are you going to do?
So did you watch my previous video about this, about the police having new powers that they can literally go into your house for any reason, as long as you've got an electronic device that has a geotag feature on it, which is basically a mobile phone, right? So if you've got a mobile phone in your house, they have any legit, like, it doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter if you've done nothing. If you've got a mobile phone in your house, then they can now go into your home and invade it without a warrant.
It's more specifically any kind of SIM card. Any kind of SIM card in your house.
So it's a mobile phone. Again, what I'm saying.
But SIM cards are also credit cards. The credit card's a SIM card. The credit card's a SIM card. Any kind of smart card.
Let me speak. Is that for gathering evidence? Is that for gathering evidence reasons? Like, say you've got a CCTV cam on the outside of your house, and a crime has happened outside, and they can come in your home and get you. Is that why they can do it?
Well, Vindicator, like most things with the police and law, they don't actually specify why they would like to do that.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at the way they abused the Terrorism Act. all the time, and pace. They abuse pace all the time. I advise everybody to go and watch a channel called Crime Bodge. He's awesome on this. He really is.
Has been around a long time.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah, like Eddie Cool says in the comments, eventually they're going to come for your VPNs.
Oh, yeah.
I've noticed, I use Proton Mail and Proton VPN. Even Proton VPN,
Am I the only one?
It's getting really
Am I the
hard
only
to
one?
log on.
Well, that's a weird plug. Okay. Anyway, am I the only one that watches the fucking comments?
Yeah, I'm watching the comments. Yeah, I'm watching the comments.
Sorry, I keep swearing too much. Again, whiskey, guys. I'm full on. I'm right deep in this shit. You're lucky I can even make a sentence right now.
Here
Oh,
we
by
go.
the way, my football team. Wait. I'm gonna go on a rant now. My football team is Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough football team, one of the best teams in the world, by the way. And we were actually one of the founding members of the Premier League. But because we're a shitty little scumbag Northeast team, we were kicked out of that league. And also because we had a shit football team. And we were relegated to the Championship. And now we languish there day after day, year after year. And the only prospect of ever having glory is eventually being promoted to the Premier League via the shitty Championship. And what will await? Relegation. Relegation, guys. Relegation from a shitty league that is dominated by shitty fucking teams that will always be dominated by these fucking teams because we're a Northeast team full of retards and mongrels. You're welcome to my rant.
It's also chips and electronics. Alex Jones was on this years ago. Okay.
Dino, can I interrupt?
Oh,
Dino,
now you're interrupting. Yeah, now you're I already stopped.
So right, let's go back. Right, right. Final thoughts, because I'm going to end this stream because we've been on for nearly 3 hours now, and I know I'm going to do it for an hour because for obvious reasons.
I can't get a word in edgeways here.
Let him go. Vindicate. Let him go.
Right.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you because with your activism, your views, your anger about what's going on, not trying to expose you whatever in any way, but
sure.
what's your background? Right? What's your background in the UK in this patriot movement? Where were you? Who were you aligned with? Who were you following over the last 10, 15, 20 years, etc.? How old are you, if you don't mind telling me?
What the fuck are you talking about? Go fuck yourself. I'm not going to give you any of my details. How about you just go fuck your own cock?
It wasn't meant that way.
What is this?
It wasn't meant that way. I just want to know.
Vindicator, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Yeah,
why is he targeting me? This is bullshit.
We don't discuss personal information for obvious reasons because if lefties are watching,
it's not personal information. I just want to know
I sound too smart for you, right? Am I a little bit clued on? Is that why I can speak clearly? Is that why? All right, go fuck yourself, dude.
Yeah, nobody's been attacking you. You've been the one attacking all evening.
Are you kidding me? Anyway, dude, Vindicator. No, I'm sorry. This is your thing, but I've had people in the comments. I've had this guy doing this like subtly at first, but now very openly trying to get my information. What is this?
Yeah, I know. It's
what kind of information is? I'm just asking you where ideologically, where did you come from in England? Yeah, not your name, your address, anything. Just what's your roots?
It's none of your business. And as soon as someone asks me that, I don't care about them.
Fair enough. You don't want to say it. But why attack me for it? It's, I'm not.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not holding thumb screws to you. Just
But you'd
asking
like
for your
to,
political,
right?
ideological fucking roots, whatever you want to call them.
Are you sure?
Oh man.
Right, guys.
Wow.
I'm going to call this a night because I think
Yeah,
we're going to.
I wasn't
I
here for this.
don't want people to say stuff they're going to regret and stuff like that.
No,
It's
I
not
wasn't.
what it's
I'm
about.
not into this. Yeah, I wasn't here for this, Vin. Take care. I'm out.
Yeah, all right then, mate. Thanks for coming, Enoch. I don't know what to say, mate. Right? You know, the guy in the comment. Yeah, the guy. I don't agree with that. You shouldn't ask people for personal information and stuff like that. That's not right.
And then he made me feel like I was a bad guy for like rejecting that. I hate that.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. We keep our identities. We show our faces on stuff. We have pseudonyms for a reason. For mine, really, it's not because I'm scared of people. It's because I have family and I don't want people knowing about my family or finding out where I live, because we know what these lefty nutters are like. And even if you're not, I'm
scared.
I know you're not scared, mate. But even if you're not in the UK,
I am.
Yeah,
mate, I don't want to say where I am right now, but it's not America. It's not a safe country. Like, it's a really dodgy place. So I'm genuinely scared.
Yeah.
Like, if the UK government decided to use their judicial power to take me back to the UK, I'm fucked. So I am a little bit scared.
Yeah. And it's not just that. We don't, how unstable the certain individuals are. I've had it myself. I
don't know that guy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
He's asking me where I live. What the fuck? Go. That makes me so angry.
I don't think he realizes that, how dangerous that can be. He's living in a country where it's a lot freer than we are, mate. And some people don't understand how bad it actually is here, and it is bad. We've basically got a communist government, and they're not our friends, are they? Look at how
No, I agree. I've never felt so unsafe. And again, I keep saying this, but people think maybe I'm taking the piss. I'm not. I literally can't go back to the UK right now. I can't see my family. I can't see my sister. She's just had a new child. It's my fucking nephew, right? I can't go back and see them. I literally can't go back to the UK because I know they'll arrest me. If someone's been sent to prison for 2 years for making a tweet about some bullshit, imagine what I would get for making a 30-minute long video talking about stabby Muslims.
Did you see that guy from podcast The Lotus Eaters? He's left. He's the guy that goes around the world. He goes traveling. He was stopped. He was stopped at the airport coming back.
Oh, Callum. Callum.
Yeah. They had him under terrorism laws when he came back.
Yeah. And he's completely milk toast.
Exactly.
And imagine I went back to the UK right now, right? This is a guy on. This is what I keep saying to people. The Lotus Eaters has just been demonetized on YouTube.
Yeah.
I know that I will be soon, right? I will be soon. But imagine I went back to the UK if this guy on the Lotus Eaters was arrested and not arrested, detained at the airport for 2 hours, 3 hours, right? Imagine what would happen to me.
Exactly. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe at all. It can happen to anybody, and that's how they put fear in people, isn't it? It's like,
sure. I mean, what I'm trying to distinguish here is I've actually been incredibly fucking crazy when it comes to commenting about this stuff. Like, most people will be, critical. I think I went a little bit beyond that in a lot of my videos. Like, I'm not sure. Vindicator, have you seen many of my videos?
Yeah, I don't think they're too bad, but with this government, you don't know. I mean,
in the early ones, they're really bad.
Yeah, I mean, when this government got into power, I actually had to private some of my videos because I was
I probably should do the same. I should probably, I should, but I'm not going to. Fuck it.
I mean, I used to have
But yeah,
videos where I can't really say, but I went round certain places where new visitors were. I'll say that. And those videos, even though they're completely benign, I didn't confront anybody. But even for doing that, I've seen people be arrested for it. And, you know, it's scary.
All I can say is I know for 100%, right? 100%. I'm not welcome in my own country anymore. The government that currently exists will arrest me and they'll send me to a Muslim prison and I'll probably get killed there. I don't want to take the risk. So if you want to call me a traitor, if you want to call me a pussy or whatever, I just don't want to die in a Muslim prison.
Yeah, I don't fault you one bit, mate. I don't think that of you at all. I think you're brave. I mean, you're still saying what you're saying, aren't you? You're not censoring yourself to such an extent where your message isn't getting across. It's a necessity, though. And I'm glad you pulled me back from earlier from the whole.
Dude, that was so close.
Yeah. I was starting to get angry. I wasn't getting angry at you, mate. I was getting angry at certain people because they frustrate me. I'm like you. It's like they're talking about issues like picking up litter, and that's all fair enough, but it's not solving. It's not solving anything. It's really not.
No, it's distraction. It doesn't mean anything. It's pointless bullshit.
And like I say,
I feel like
people don't know what war is like. They don't know what war is like, and that they think it's going to be easy. It's not. It's not easy at all.
Yeah,
I can bet your bottom dollar that 99% of people haven't got what it takes to pull a trigger and take a life.
No, that's not true. Listen to all the women on X. We need war. We need war in Ukraine. We need to keep fighting Russia, says the white women of the middle class.
Yeah. It's very different when you're there with the gun and you're pointing at somebody, I can tell you. And that they want that for our young lads as well, our army. Well, it's not really an army anymore now. It's more of a home defence force. You can't really call it an army. And it's gone woke now as well, just like the police. I've got friends, right? I've got friends still in the military, and you know, in their barracks, they've got a big poster up on the wall, signs to spot at the far right. And you know what's on that poster? Our flag. Our flag. It's on the fucking uniform. How to spot the far right. Being patriotic. In the army. That's the army.
We keep talking about. We keep talking about these conspiracy theories and all these things that are not true. They can never be true, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it's true.
As time moves forward, we start to see things that are right in front of our eyes. They are literally right in front of our eyes. We're looking at them. So when they say that people, and I mean, like, you know, people, because I can't say people, so I'm going to say people. When we say that people want wars and they want the white people to, you know, just not exist anymore, and they want forever wars, and especially in the Eastern Front, so they can funnel an entire population right to that Eastern Front.
Let's go into it, right? What's the globalist agenda for Russia? It's got massive
90%
minerals. It's got massive earth rare minerals. That's what they're after. That's why they want to go. It's not for anything, because Putin's a bad man. They just want the minerals. Why did they go into Iraq? Because they wanted the oil. It's all about resources. It's got nothing about morality or anything like that. It's about resources. They want to make money, don't they?
Well, we're talking about companies here, right? Like, not even companies, with oligarchies and all this other shit that goes into it. Vanguard and BlackRock. And what's the other one? There's three main ones. It's Vanguard, BlackRock,
and
there's another one. Comments.
Yeah.
Can you give me
Amazon?
it?
Amazon.
It's not Amazon. It's not Amazon. There's another one that controls basically everything.
Is it Goldman?
No
That's
one?
a bank. Goldman Sachs. They're a bank, aren't they? But they're heavily involved as well.
No, these are just like the companies. Not talking about the banking sector. These are just like the major companies that control war and control population movements and everything that is literally happening in the world. The banking sector is totally different. They're not interested in that at all. It's the companies themselves that are interested in the movement of people and all this shit. We're probably talking about this too much, actually. We are literally like just going into dark territory. Like there's a reason that we're
going to get Epstein if we're not careful.
No, it's not that. It's just that the channels would just disappear overnight. No reason. That's it. Gone.
Yeah.
No channel.
Yeah, they definitely don't want you delving into this kind of stuff.
Yeah, Vanguard, BlackRock, and fucking what's that?
Yeah, there is another one. I know what you mean. It's on the tip of my tongue. I just can't remember what it is.
Anyway, so there's these companies that are profiteering, and then you got the other things that go behind those companies that actually pay your politicians. They like George Soros, right? The NGOs. Who else? You've got George Soros. You've got
his son, who's an absolute fruitcake like he is.
Well, it's George Soros.
Who's that scientist guy? Who's that scientist guy at the World Economic Forum that's basically wants eugenics?
Oh, you're talking about every single fucking time. It's in my thumbnail on my fucking music video. Every single time someone asks me to remember a name, I can never. I can't do it. It makes me fucking forget instantly. Schwab, Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab. That's the fucking baldy twat.
Yeah. And the thing is, right? They're actually telling people what they're going to do because they don't care. They don't hide it.
Yeah, they're
all.
ahead of the game. Like Angela von der Leyen cunt.
Yeah,
I always do that. I love that. Von der Leyen cunt.
You know what I love, right? You know what I love about the European Union? It's the fact they've got somebody that was actually accused of fraud running the was it like our Chancellor of the Exchequer? She's basically the purse strings of the European Union, and she was literally kicked out of a banking job for fraud. I can't remember her name.
Angela von der Leyen. It's von der Leyen. Von der Leyen, the blonde girl, but I call her von der Leyen. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Chat. I'm so fucking disappointed with the chat. In every time we've struggled to come up with a name, you've never fucking gave us it. I'm disappointed. I watched Asmongold. Right, Asmongold has amazing chat.
He's awesome, Asmongold. I like watching him.
They're
amazing.
Always giving him fucking the names. He's like, hey, I need a fact check. And they're like, boom, straight away.
Yeah.
Our chat is like, sorry, what were you talking about?
Bureaucrats. They're talking amongst themselves. They're having a really good conversation.
I'm joking, chat. You're fucking amazing. Ashley Styles, John. I can't see him.
Hang on, here we go. Right, here we go. I'll get him on the screen. I can't pronounce that name. Was it Paul Marshall? Oh, sorry, it's an easy name. Paul Marshall owns GB News. Paul Marshall initial startup was George Soros. Avoid GB News. Well, we knew they. You know what? Hasn't GB News just become the Reform Party?
Exactly.
Network?
We all saw it happening, right? The fucking whole thing. It was so obvious. We get in the people that are popular. We make it legitimate. We make people trust it, and then we sack them all.
Yeah. And look at all the people who are on it. You've got Nigel Farage. You've got most of the Reform Party. You've got Jacob Rees-Mogg. The Coast guy. I used to love watching the Coast guy's rants about everything. He was good, but then he got delegated just to being online and not being promoted much anymore.
Actually, I feel sorry for that that blonde woman that was like complaining about not being able to walk home because migrants were following her, and she made a big rant, and it went viral, right?
Yeah.
I kind of feel sorry for her. She was fired by GB News.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Now
She goes on Dan Wootton a lot, doesn't she? Dan Wootton, she's always on there.
she's on Talk TV now or something like this. I don't know, but she looks genuinely stressed out and disheveled. She looks really bad. I feel really sorry for her.
Apparently, what they did to her at GB News, she can't even talk about it. They slapped this
Ashley
massive.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
that's her. Yeah,
no.
they slapped a massive
No,
NDA
no.
on her that she can't speak
No,
about
that's-
what they did.
Okay.
That's right.
No, I thought her
Farage
name was
Reform.
Ashley Styles, but it's actually just that guy's name.
That's right. Farage and Reform are so obvious. The way the entire media went from Nigel Farage is a traitor to vote Reform. Nigel is your hero. Exactly. The minute the mainstream media get behind you, you know that there's something not right.
I think I made a video about this recently, and I was saying every single time, what you just said basically, every single time the mainstream media or the political establishment get behind someone, what you need to do as a informed citizen is do the opposite.
You know what I noticed about Farage, and it's the little things that you notice all the way up through the election when he did his own little social media things. He had the union flags behind him in the background,
Flags.
and
I know
the minute he got into power, they were gone, and that should tell you everything you need to know about the guy.
And everyone can digest that and leave it at that, because I am knackered.
Yeah. Right, mate, let's call it a night. It's 10 to 12 here. I don't know what time it is where you are. I don't want to know. I'm not trying to pry or anything like that.
It's late.
It's late. I can imagine, mate. Right. Thanks for
Or
coming on,
early.
mate. It's been a great. I know it's been a bit hectic, but that's what this is about. You know, sometimes
I don't mind.
You get challenged on what you believe and stuff like that, and it's. I find it fun fighting back sometimes. I like to listen to people and the views on certain things. You know, I'm just getting used to this as well, and maybe I need to step in a little more when people are getting out of line and stuff like that. But the people that came in, they're usually quite polite and stuff. But I guess sometimes, you know, we've all been through it. We get passionate about what we're speaking about and that sort of thing. And I don't think that's a bad thing, really, is it? If you're passionate. But yeah,
I don't know. If you listen to everything, right, you obviously watch this video again, right? If you listen to that guy and what he was saying, actually, he didn't contribute, and he was just fact-finding.
yeah.
Really, listen to what he said. He's just fact-finding. I'm not sure if he's a legitimate guy or if he was... We've got a target on our back. You have to understand this. And I really do understand this, right? We are not normal people. We're not doing videos that are just like fun and harmless. There's people that will want to see us and find us and then do bad things to us.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
When I listen to people like that asking questions about where I live and what I'm doing and what time zone it is, that's a fucking red flag straight away.
Do you know that guy that was at that protest that he came over to me and was trying to shove me out of the way? It's on my channel. I think you featured it on your channel a little bit.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. He found out where I worked, went in and got me the sack.
And there we go.
That's how much power these people have. And there was no question. He just threatened to go and protest outside where I was working, and they caved to him. And that's all it takes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I can't be asked with these fuckers that come on your channel and ask me personal questions.
I'll be honest with you. I've known Enoch for quite a while. I don't think he's that person. I think he's just curious and just didn't realise that. Yeah, you don't ask people your personal info.
Don't care. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, I know, mate. I know.
Mate. Anyway, everyone listening in the audience, you're welcome to this internal personal dialogue.
All right, mate. I'm gonna call it a night and get some sleep. So thanks for coming in. It's been we will have to do it again. It'll be slightly better next
I've enjoyed
time.
it.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it too. It's good having a back and forth, and sometimes when I don't know about you, but when I'm on my channel, I think, am I getting radicalized? Am I, you do question yourself sometimes. I do question what I'm saying, and I always reflect back on what I've said. It's like, was I right or was I wrong? I don't want to be an echo chamber. I don't want to think I'm in an echo chamber or anything like that. I want to have what I believe is challenge. Yeah,
I'll leave it on this. My weakness, my own personal weakness, my entire life has been caring what other people care about me.
Yeah.
Like what other people think about me. That has always been my huge fucking weakness. And after making my YouTube channel and putting out these videos, I've slowly overcome that weakness. And now I can confidently walk down the street and ignore every single bastard that looks at me or tries to say hello, tries to be nice to me, anything. I'm like, yeah, go fuck yourself. I'm just by myself. I'm going to ignore you completely. No, I mean, I sound like a dickhead. But I live in a foreign country where, like, it's full of Chinese people. So, it's like, it's a different thing. Anyway, you don't, shit. Fuck it. I don't care.
Yeah, don't release all the information where you live now, mate. Don't do that. Yeah, it's
no, I'm in a non-Chinese country. Are you kidding me? I'm in a non-Chinese country. Try and find that place on the fucking earth.
Yeah, that was just a diversionary tactic to throw people off.
No, literally. Try and find somewhere on this fucking planet that Chinese people don't live.
Well, most places have got their own Chinatown, haven't they?
You're not getting it. Anyway, doesn't matter. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Vindicator, you've been amazing. Thank you for bringing me on your channel.
Thanks, mate. You've been amazing too. And I like, again,
I've loved it.
Thanks for giving me the shout out. I really appreciate the shout out, mate. It was good of you. Thank you.
I don't remember it. I was drunk.
Thanks, mate.
I'm joking. I do remember.
Oh, no, mate, yeah.
Or do I?
Right. I'll say goodbye to the chat. Thanks, chat. You've been great. Sorry for not interacting with you much tonight, but we've been having conversations, and I think I'm going to like structure my live streams a bit better, where we have a discussion, then we have a look at the chat. We have a discussion, we look at the chat. Maybe that's a better way to start doing things, and answer some people's questions from the chat. Maybe that I could do that next time. But yeah, it's been great, Dino. I'm going to call it a night now, mate, and I shall see you soon. I shall be watching your videos tomorrow. Don't forget about my video tomorrow with the propaganda. That's going to be fun. So,
all right, I'm going to be super hungover though. So,
yeah.
If I make a video tomorrow, you're welcome, everyone. If I don't, then
yeah. Obviously, go and it's probably most of your crowd that's here anyway. But if you don't know Dino Baines, go and subscribe to his channel.
27 on YouTube. Dude, what are you talking about? It's all yours. It's all you. It's all you. Anyway. Fucking hell, I don't like this. I don't like platitudes. Let's just, you know what, Vindicator, you're a dickhead. Go piss off.
Thank you, mate. I'm going.
I did.
See you later, you twat.
You knob.
See you later, mate. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.